Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk Free Radio.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $Sal Showtime. Thanks for your support.
All right, thank you, Brother Sal. And again, thank you everybody in the Debate Talk for you listening audience for taking the time out to listen in to this class of great importance. And as Elder David said, there's numerous other things you could have been doing, but you decided to tune in and listen to this. So that's a blessing in of itself. Again, the title of tonight's class is Love, the Mark of a True Believer. And I decided it was high time to drop this manner of class on Debate Talk for You because I love Debate Talk for You, and it's benefited my ministry immensely. You know, everybody there can testify to that. You know, so I don't have a problem with the show. But a lot of folks what they like to do is they want to prove their mark as a true believer through trying to show off knowledge. You know, and right knowledge is a sign of a true believer. Don't get it twisted. If you're spitting the truth, that is a sign that you may be a true believer. That's one of the signs. But that's not the definite sign of a true believer. As the class suggests, the mark of a true believer is love. And when I look out on the social media, I don't see a lot of love among the brothers and the sisters in terms of believers. Now, everybody is claiming to have the truth. One thing that I'm always telling people is, you know, we call ourselves absolute Bible truth, and people say, well, you guys claim you know the absolute truth. And I always got to correct them and say that's not why we call ourselves absolute Bible truth. We call ourselves absolute Bible truth because we absolutely prove everything we teach from the Bible, or everything we teach can absolutely be proven from the Bible, which we believe is the truth. But the fact of the matter is, what's funny, and Elder David can testify to this, is that everybody out there is claiming to be teaching absolute truth. Now, they don't mean that they know everything either. But what they do claim is that everything they teach is absolutely the truth. Nobody is going to come on Debate Talk to You or any other social media and say, some of the stuff I teach, I know is wrong. Nobody's going to do that. If you ask anybody, it could be a Jehovah's Witness, a Sunday Christian, a Seventh-day Adventist, all of these people are going to claim that every single piece of doctrine they spit is the truth. So they are claiming the same claim that we're claiming. The only difference between us and them is we got the nerve to put it in the title of what we call ourselves. So when I look around and I see a lot of people who like to showcase knowledge and knowledge alone as proof of being a true believer or having the truth, and I see that these people lack love, even in the smallest way, I figured that it was time for us to come on Debate Talk for You and change the tide a little bit and put this information out here. Because the longer I'm on Debate Talk for You, the more I see that love is not something that's being taught among the masses. And when I say love, I mean love according to the Bible, or what some people would call brotherly love or true Christian love. Because if they understood what love was, we wouldn't be on Facebook and on YouTube trying to tear one another down just because we have a disagreement in doctrine. Now, of course, if there's somebody on there who's just a straight-up false prophet and they teaching falsehood, then, yeah, you're supposed to be all over them. You know, you're still supposed to be correcting them in love. But when I look around, I see that these people lack the mark of a true believer, which is love. It's not being taught. It's not being promoted. Everybody thinks that proving that they have the right doctrine is proof that they are a true believer or they have the truth. That's what everybody seems to be wrapped up in. Nobody's really talking about how the Bible says that love is actually a mark of that. And this is Old and New Testament. So whether you are a Old Covenant Hebrew, which means you don't believe in the New Testament, you don't believe in the Messiah, or you're a New Testament only Christian, you only believe in the New Testament and don't take that much stock in the Old Testament, there's something in this class for you, because we're going to show everybody tonight that love is the most important characteristic of anything you can have as a believer. Not how much knowledge you got, not how many debates you think you've won, not how many titles you've appointed upon yourself. A lot of people do that. I'm the new champion, and I got people in body bags. These people lack love. And they're going to tell you in this class that the people who have love, there are certain conduct characteristics that go with that. And this is how I know you're not a true believer, because you lack that genuine love, which is the mark of a true believer. So, everybody's at each other's throats. I understand it's the lion's den. We lions. We're supposed to be going at it, but you can still do it in love. It's just like two guys in the boxing match. They box. When the match is over, they hug it out because it's called sportsmanship. Nobody has any personal feelings at the end of the match. Yeah, dude gave you a black eye, you know what I'm saying? You knocked his teeth out. But at the end of the day, it was just a match, and it was nothing personal. It was just done in sportsmanship. And that's what I want people on Debate Talk for You to understand. That's the attitude I think the contenders should adopt. It should never be personal. It should be, okay, this is what you believe, this is what I believe. Let's sit down and let the truth prevail. And at the end of the day, that's what we'll roll with. But people have made this personal, and they can't stand one another. And I'm not talking just for me personally. Y'all see it. Y'all see how these people be. There is no love being taught. That's the understanding that we lack. So I'm going to put it out there so anybody who didn't know before tonight, they will be inexcusable, because me and Elder David, we're going to show everybody that love is indeed the mark of a true believer. So I'm going to open this up first. Let's go to Leviticus 19. While we start in the Old Testament, because a modern-day misconception among Christians is that the love doctrine, or brotherly love or Christian love, is something that started with Jesus Christ. And that's just simply not true. The concept of loving one another and conducting ourselves in a manner that proves we love one another started in the Old Testament, in Torah law. So it really breaks my heart when I see Hebrew Israelites claiming Torah, we need to keep the Torah, and I see no love among them. And y'all know, Debate Talk You audience, y'all know I'm not lying, the most brutal contenders that are on Debate Talk You are Hebrew Israelites. These guys go for blood. You follow what I'm saying? But we're going to start this off first, Elder, in Leviticus 19. And I want you to read one verse, then we're going to skip Leviticus 19 and verse 18. And go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Now, there are a lot of things you can gather from this one verse. Number one, it says, thou shalt not avenge, that means get revenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. In this context, it's talking about fellow Hebrew Israelites. That's the children of your people. But I'm going to show you that it's extended beyond just of the Hebrew Israelites. I know I got some racist Hebrew Israelites that say, see, we just talking about love your brother, of the Hebrew Israelites. That's not right. It extends further than that, and we're going to read that. Then it says right here, that any grudge against the children of thy people. That means hold a grudge, stay mad at somebody. Always got some kind of problem with somebody. There are a lot of brothers out there right now that are still grudging with each other. They hold grudges. They are forever at each other's throats. Entire Hebrew Israelite camp. I say this all the time. We as Hebrew Israelites, I'm saying we, because yes, I consider myself a Hebrew Israelite, but not for the reason they consider themselves to be Hebrew Israelites, but I do consider myself to be one. But I always saying, we as Hebrew Israelites are always saying we got the truth, and the Sunday Christians are always the pagans, and they don't know nothing, and they ignorant, right? But at the same time, how many Creflo Dollar versus T.D. Jakes videos do you see on YouTube? How many people at Creflo Dollar's church do you see going back and forth with people from T.D. Jakes' church? See, we don't, as soon as you become a Hebrew Israelite, love goes out the window. And they don't teach us to fight harder against anybody than each other. They love rolling up on each other on the corner. But then, if you try to tell me we aren't supposed to love Hebrew Israelites, those the ones I see y'all attack the most. So it said, don't bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Keep reading, finish that, please. You probably already read it, but read it again. But thou shalt.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Now, understand this too, sisters and brothers. Whenever you read in the law, and he says, I am the Lord, that's the most high way of signing his signature on that particular commandment. When he tells you to do something in the law, in Torah, you read it, he says, I am the Lord. That's his way of saying, this comes from me. Because the children of Israel weren't so stupid that God had to keep introducing himself over and over again. I mean, how would you feel if Elder David came on here and every time he read a scripture for me, he turned around and introduced himself and said, I'm Elder David? Y'all like, okay, why does this man keep saying that? That doesn't make any sense. He already told us who he is. But that wouldn't make sense. So if you read this in Torah law, you have to ask yourself, why after a lot of commandments, God keeps saying, I am the Lord? Because that's him putting his personal signature on that commandment, meaning this is for me. I said this. So he said, I am the Lord, meaning the commandment to love your neighbor as yourself is from him. It is not something we're coming up with tonight to try to impose upon the Debate Talk for You audience. If you are a Bible believer, you have to roll with it. He said, I am the Lord. Love your neighbor as yourself. What that means is you don't do anything to your neighbor. I know a lot of y'all already asking, well, who's my neighbor? We're going to answer that question too. But what that means is you don't do anything to your neighbor that you wouldn't do to yourself. You treat people the way you want to be treated. That's all that it's saying. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't want somebody constantly trying to tear you down. You don't want somebody constantly trying to find fault with what you're doing. Nobody wants that. If you want that, you're crazy. But this is all connected with love. And love is something that you don't see much of from the would-be contenders on Debate Talk for You and all of the social media all together. They love trying to get each other. And these are believers. Now, if we had a bunch of atheists attacking us, I would understand that. They're not believers. If we had a bunch of Egyptologists attacking us, I would understand it. They are not believers. Even Muslims, to a degree, because some Muslims understand the love your neighbor as yourself concept, but some of them, even if we had them, I could understand that. But the most fighting that you see on social media and people that have been contenders on this show are among believers. One believer versus another one. We like to make videos. We like to start our own blog talk shows and start tearing each other down for the whole purpose of that. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with identifying the fault or the falsehood in what somebody else is doing, even if you call them by name. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to let the people know this is all in love. When A.B.T points out the falsehood of what somebody is doing, it's never personal. Because first of all, in order for something to be personal, you have to know the people personally. And I don't know any of these people personally who I've debated. I've only probably met one person who I've debated on Debate Talk for You in person, maybe two. Two that I can think of off the top of my head. But this cannot be personal because we're supposed to love each other. No matter how bad you think I beat you or how bad you think you beat me, at the end of the day, you should be able to say, you know what, I still got much love for that brother. That's the way it's supposed to be. But let's move on, Elder. Skip down, still in Leviticus chapter 19, skip down and read verses 33 and 34.
And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, you shall not vex him. The stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
Now, here we are again. Because when we just read verse 18, it said the children of your people. That means fellow Hebrew Israelites. Nobody's denying that. I'm not going to pretend like the Bible doesn't say that. But you can't pretend like when you get down to verse 33 and 34, it said that if a stranger sojourn would be in your land, stranger meaning non-Hebrew Israelite.
That's correct.
This is not a Hebrew Israelite. If a stranger sojourn with you, you know this is talking about a non-Hebrew Israelite because the law is addressing Israel. So who would be a stranger to Israel? How can there be other Israelites that aren't a stranger? It said, if a stranger sojourn will be in your land, you shall not vex him. That means abuse him, torture him, afflict him. You shall not do that. This is Torah law. Then it says, but the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born amongst you, and you shall love him as yourself. It just said that about the children of your people, fellow Hebrew Israelites. Now it's saying the same thing about non-Hebrew Israelites. Now tell me how all these so-called Torah-loving Hebrew Israelites can stand up the corner and say, we're supposed to hate the so-called white man. Why? Because he ain't Israel. He Esau. But your own Torah law says you're supposed to love him as yourself. I don't understand how these people can honestly call themselves Bible believers. Well, Esau did so much to us, and the white man did so much to us, that don't negate Torah law. We tend to forget sometimes that when God put this stuff into motion, he knew what was going to happen in the future. Why would he put this in Torah law if he knew that these people were going to do something in the future where they're going to make that null and void? Why would he do that? He didn't turn around and have all the prophets and all the kings say that the law is forever. It endure forever. The commandments hold short and fast forever. See, people like that, they want to pick and choose what part of this Bible they like, and then just throw out whatever don't mesh with their way of thinking. But the fact of the matter is, it says you shall love him as yourself. And he gives you an example so you can know that this is not talking about a stranger in the sense of a Hebrew Israelite you don't know. He gives you an example because it says right here, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. When Israel were strangers in the land of Egypt, they were not fellow Egyptians. Y'all all know that Egyptians come from Ham. Ham's son, Mithriam. And Israel comes from Shem through Abraham. Y'all know that. So he's giving you an example so you can see that when I say strangers, I mean people who are not from among Israel. And to let you know what I mean, for you were strangers in Egypt. When Israel were strangers in Egypt, they were a foreign people in a strange land that was not theirs. So God is telling you right here in Torah law, the same Torah law that these hypocritical Hebrew Israelites, not all of them, I'm talking about the racist ones, these hypocritical Hebrew Israelites claim, oh, we follow Torah law. What about the part that say love is? Oh, we ain't got to do that. So they'll go and get them tithes up out of there. They'll get that up out of there. They'll get Sabbath observance. They'll get wearing fringes. They'll get holy days. All of these things are marks of a Hebrew Israelite. All of y'all look at them, hey, they keeping the Sabbath. These guys celebrate the holy days, the feast days. Look at them over there celebrating the Pesach. Oh, and he's a Hebrew Israelite. But that same Hebrew Israelite celebrating the Pesach or the new moon will turn around and say, we're supposed to hate the white man. That's not the mark of a true believer. They're not true believers. Love is the mark of a true believer. Sisters and brothers, if they lack love, they are not true believers. I don't care what they're teaching. Oh, he's a dynamic teacher. Oh, man, you really broke that down. Yeah, okay, brother, you did your thing. What you think about the white man? Oh, kill whitey. I can't stand the white. Oh, whoa, but you're a true believer. Well, you love that, brother. I ain't trying to hear all that. You're not a true believer. See, these are the things that people don't want to come on debate talk to you and really talk about. Ain't nobody going to call in and try to debate this because this right here in the book. A lot of faces are red with shame right now because they know they have been teaching this damnable heresy of hate for a long time and then try to turn around and say, oh, we got the truth. But if you really want to know who a true believer is, is more in conduct than it is in doctrine. I keep telling people that. It's going to be a lot of people in the lake of fire, sisters and brothers, who know when the Sabbath day starts and when it ends. There's going to be a lot of people in the lake of fire that don't eat pork or wearing fringes. How could you say that, Josh? They're keeping the commandments of God. They're keeping Torah law, but they don't have the love that's also mentioned in Torah law. And that's at the top of the list. We're going to show you that every time you read, love is the first priority in the commandment. So how do you figure you're going to get into the kingdom doing secondary things when the most important things, you don't want to do that? You have a better chance getting in the kingdom doing the most important things and, falling short on the secondary things. Everybody want to stick these Christians in the lake of fire, Elder David. Oh, they don't keep the Sabbath. They don't know all these holidays are pagan. Everybody want to stick them in the lake of fire. But you know what? Christians got their true love, though.
Yeah, the Lord warns us, say, you dig a ditch with somebody else, you are liable to fall in it yourself first.
Exactly. See, people think it's ever come to God with knowledge. That's the one thing I hated about coming to the knowledge of Israel. Because what it does is it puffs you up and it makes you forget about the weightier matters of the law. All you want to do once you come into the knowledge of Israel is go out and show people how much you've learned. Y'all know I'm not lying. How can I say that? Because the same thing happened to me. And I've seen it happen to other people. That's all we want to do. That's why some people so quick, hey, Brother Josh, I challenge you. They quick to do that because I want to show how much knowledge I got. How about showing how much love you got? But let's continue, Elder. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 10. It's like they say in the Sunday church, you know how they be saying, oh, some real preaching going on today. There's a real preaching right here. A lot of folks probably already hanging up saying, oh, man, he don't know about love. Let's hear about the wilderness, the secret place of God. So everybody want to talk about this. Funny thing is, this is what's going to get you salvation.
That's right.
I can come on here and drop a deep class every Friday if I wanted to, if Sal allowed me to. You would be enlightened. You would love it. But what good would that do you if you walk away and I haven't talked to you about true love? What good would that do you? It's gonna be a bunch of knowledgeable people in the lake of fire. A bunch of folks with a lot of knowledge in the lake of fire. But I don't just teach knowledge at A.B.T. I teach conduct. I teach love. I've been called everything from a devil to an Uncle Tom for teaching people, hey, the Bible says we're supposed to love everybody, not just our own. The Bible says that. That's all over the Bible. Why in the world are you crazy because I'm reading something from your Bible? That's what it says. You want me to go up there and you want me to tell out and pretend like I don't see stuff? We call ourselves absolute Bible truth. That also means you don't pretend like you don't see certain things. Nobody has ever brought anything in this debate to Brother Josh and say, Brother Josh, you don't deal with that. I bet you won't deal with that. I deal with everything. If I don't understand it, I'll tell you. I don't understand. I need to get understanding on that. But I'm not going to run from it. These are the things they don't want to deal with. This is the mark of a true believer. Everybody in the world should want to hear this because everybody should want to be a true believer if they claim they believe the Bible. How do I become a true believer, Josh? How can I identify a true believer? Listen in. Hey, Elder, what do I do, Elder David? How do I know I'm dealing with a true believer versus a phony? Listen in.
And what kind of teachers would you or I be if we don't warn the people like we've been instructed to and commanded to do per the word of God about their conduct? Because we're warning them about consequences if, in fact, you don't find this truth that's written within the pages of this word and then follow after it, perform it. And love is at the top of the list.
Exactly, the top of the list. But you don't see love. You see hate. These people are teaching hate. These people stand on the street corners and teach hate. These people come on debate talk to you and teach hate, have been questioned and cross-examination. Do we supposed to hate white people? Yes. Hate is the word used in the question. Yes. That's not a true believer. Any congregation that's teaching hate is a false congregation. No, the Bible says the only thing we're supposed to hate is sin.
That's right.
What are we supposed to hate? Well, David said, I hate all the workers of iniquity. That's what David said, in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
David is not Torah law. He was speaking for personal anguish about what he was going through. And even in that context, you can see he didn't mean people in general. He meant any and everybody that goes against the commandments of God, even other Hebrew Israelites. But this is Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 12. Go ahead and read.
Hatred stirreth up strife, but love covereth all sins.
It said hatred stirreth up strife, but love covereth all sins. Y'all know what strife is? It's a bunch of contention, a bunch of arguing, a bunch of debating. Wait a minute, God, you're on debate talk? Are you speaking against debating? No, because all debating is not fueled from strife. You can read in the Bible where Paul was disputing daily in the synagogue. That means debating, sister, brother. You can look it up. If it was wrong to debate in general, Paul wouldn't have been doing it. The other disciples wouldn't have been doing it. If you look close enough at Jesus' ministry, he stayed debating. God, Pharisees, Sadducees, every time you turn around, somebody challenging Jesus to debate his doctrine, and he never ran away. He just silenced all his challengers. That's what he did. There's nothing wrong with debating in of itself if it's to get to the truth. But it said right here that hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. You see somebody who's always strifing with somebody. Every time you turn around, this brother making a video attacking somebody. Every time you turn around, this brother on some kind of social media taking shots at somebody else. That brother has a lot of hatred. Every time you turn around, this brother's trying to get a debate or a rise out of somebody else. That brother is full of hatred. That's not the sign of a true believer. It's that love covereth all sins. I mean, you have love, your sins can be covered. That means pushed away, erased. That's a pretty powerful concept. You mean to tell me my love can cover my sins?
That's what it said. Yep.
But nobody wants to deal with the most important component of being a true believer, and it's love. This is something that needs to be heard. Debate Talk to You right now, for me, is the biggest arena I can put this message in. So I need to use that to my advantage to get this message out here, because otherwise you will probably never hear it. There are a few brothers on Debate Talk to You that have done this. So we need to let people know this, man. Love, that's the mark of a true believer. And there's not a lot of love on social media among believers. I mean, some of the stuff you read that we say to each other, and when I say we, I don't include me because I'm not on social media doing that. When I say we, I include myself as these are my people with me. But some of the stuff I see we say back and forth to each other on social media and about each other, and then got the nerve to say, we got the truth. Where's the love? Love, what is that? What love got to do with it? Now, when you talk about the song between the Turner sisters, brothers, what love got to do with it? Love got everything to do with it. Because that's the first thing you got to have. In fact, you got to have love before you're even allowed to go out and teach. People don't even know that. You can't teach if you don't have love. And you got to love everybody. Even if they're white people, Asian people, African people, you got to love them too. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, you don't want to give them the kingdom. You can literally go to hell, and that's what you're going to do. Let's move on. Let's go to the New Testament. I just want to show people, Elder, that this concept started in the Old Testament first. Because every time you start talking about love among these Hebrew Israelites, especially the ones that don't believe in the New Testament, they say, oh, man, that's that Christian garbage y'all trying to spit. We supposed to hate, we supposed to be vicious, we supposed to be soldiers and all that stuff. Man, you supposed to love people. Y'all serve a God of violence. Yes, the God of the Old Testament could be very violent. Y'all know I'm not going to run from that. But where's the love? When you teach these people, do you really love them? I keep telling y'all, there was a brother on Facebook that I was looking at about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, and he just cursing and going in on everybody that didn't know that Christmas was pagan. Oh, man, y'all so foolish. Y'all idiotic person. Y'all this pagan holiday, y'all should know better, as if he was born knowing that. As if he was born with that knowledge. As if nobody had to sit him down one day and show him that. But yet he on there beating up everybody that don't know what he knows. I often wonder, how did they convert you? Were they coming at you like that? Because I doubt that many people will want to get with a religion where you're always ridiculed and made to look like a dummy just because you don't know what they know. Now, of course, there are some things that I expect certain people to know. I go in hard on the Hebrew Israelites. You know why? Because they profess to be teachers of the law. You come on the base house, you claiming you Israel and all that, and you don't know basic Torah law, oh, yeah, Josh going to go in on you because you don't put yourself out there as somebody who's supposed to know better. So, yes, I'm going in hard on you. But somebody who comes from a background where they ain't never heard of this stuff, why would I go inside their head like that? They don't know this. They don't even supposed to know it. You follow what I'm saying? So why in the world would you go in so hard on somebody who don't know something you know when you had to be sat down and taught it too? See, there's no love out there. Nobody's equipping these people with love. We're supposed to be armed with love when we teach these people. But where's love at? Gone. Get out there and just show these folks they dummies for not knowing what you know. But let's move on. Like I said, John chapter 13. Like I said, some real preaching going on tonight, sisters and brothers. John 13. This is the Messiah, Jesus Christ. A lot of Messianic Hebrews are out there listening. You follow what I'm saying? A lot of Messianic Hebrews out there listening. So you believe in the Messiah, regardless of what name you use for him. So don't try to cop out, oh, he's talking about that Christian Jesus. That Christian Jesus, he called his love. No, You're Yeshua or Yehoshua or Yahusha, whatever name you want to use. He teach that too. Let's see what he said. This is John 13, verses 33 and 34. Go ahead and read, please, Elder.
Okay. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
Look what he said, a new commandment I give unto you. And it's talking about new in concept, because Torah law tells us to love each other. You just read it. But it had become so foreign to Israel that he had to reintroduce it to them like it was new. He said, a new commandment I give unto you. And it's new to a lot of people listening tonight too. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. We're supposed to love one another as Jesus loved us. And the Bible says he died for us. That's how much love he had for us. He laid down his life for us. Do y'all honestly see that kind of love among believers, among people who've been on the base house for you? Do y'all see that on social media? Sometimes before Sal's show is even over, these guys on social media tearing each other up, cursing each other out in the name of truth. The way you love that. Do y'all ever talk about love? I want somebody to call in and debate that we supposed to love one another. Ain't nobody stupid enough to do that, Elder. Not they read the Bible. I love somebody to call in and try to debate that. Do we supposed to love each other? I don't agree with that. Do you believe the Bible? No, exactly. That's the only way you can get away from that one. I don't believe the Bible. But don't call in and say you believe the Bible and try to tell me that we are supposed to love one another. That's too easy to prove. Prove we're supposed to love each other is almost as easy as proving that God is the God of this Bible. It's too easy to do. But look what it says in verse 35. Read that, please.
By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
By this shall all men know ye are my disciples if ye have love one to another. And he wasn't just talking to the 12, because you can read later on that he told them, also in the book of John, that everything that I have taught y'all, go and teach other people. So they also taught that we're going to read, that this is not just extend to the 12, because we're going to read this later on in other places. He said, this is how people know you are my disciples. Disciples mean students or followers. This is how people know you are a follower of the Messiah, or a disciple of the Messiah, or a believer in the Messiah, or plainly put, for some people, a Christian. This is how people know this. By the love we are supposed to show one another. How is it that everybody claiming they follow the Messiah or they got the truth, but I don't see anybody showing love one to another? Everybody trying to take everybody's head out. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to about Bro.Josh, but y'all don't see Bro.Josh on social media doing anything to nobody that ain't said something to Bro.Josh first. Y'all don't see me doing that. Yes, I've mentioned some folly that people are doing. That's what I'm supposed to do. The book says you're supposed to identify, but I don't go out my way to target certain people and certain ministries. You got some people whose whole ministry is based on trying to take down somebody else's ministry or somebody else's ministries. There's people whole MO. I'm here to prove this person wrong. They come on my show, and I'm telling Father, because I know I got a blog talk show too. They come on my show too, always ready to try to find fault with what I'm doing, even though there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying in and of itself. I got this one sister, I had to eventually just hang her up. She called in every week. I said, what's wrong with what I'm teaching? What do I teach wrong? Well, there's nothing really wrong. Or she'll say, I am wrong. Okay, well, what am I teaching wrong? Don't even tell me. They want to just go and start going to all this other stuff that don't have anything to do with nothing. So why does she do this every week? Because her whole MO is to tear down. Where I read in the Bible, it's talking about edifying. Edifying is the opposite of tearing down. Edifying means to build up. We do a whole class on that. If the Bible says, let all things be done to edification, that means everything we do is supposed to be for the purpose of building each other up. But everything that you see ain't for edification. Y'all know that. These people are here to tear down. And I hate to say it. It's what's being taught. It's a mindset. It's an attitude that's being taught among Israel. It's a militant, messed up mindset that's being taught about Israel that as soon as you come into the truth, go on full throttle attack. And nobody's equipping these people with love. This is the reason why it's so hard for A.B.T. to roll with certain circles, because certain circles don't want to do nothing but tear each other down. That's all they want to do. You go on YouTube and all of a sudden, you got this video against you. This brother did a video against you, Josh. Well, I ain't going to be saying nothing about this brother. Let me tell you why Bro.Josh is this. And I don't care what you talk about me, because they talk about Jesus. I always say if ain't nobody saying nothing about you, you're doing something wrong anyway. But these people will come on here, and all they want to do is tear down. I could do a class on Sal Show, like I'm doing tonight. Y'all are witnesses of this. Nothing in of itself is wrong with what I'm saying, or in what I'm saying in the debate. But somebody will call in and just find something else to just attack me about. I did a debate with Lex Vortex. It was about the Garden of Eden. Was it a literal place? One of the first people that called in was his sister going off on me. And then turned around and I asked her, I said, well, do you agree that the Garden of Eden was a literal place where Adam and Eve had to walk? Yes. So why, but the whole time she on there, they ain't got the spirit. What's love? It ain't about no love. That's the mark of a true believer. It's time for y'all to start looking for love in these people. We ain't looking for love in these people. We just looking for knowledge. Well, he's right about that. He got that right. We can't disprove that. That's a true believer, isn't it? Because that can be copied.
And brother,
somebody can listen to all this. Go ahead.
I said, and Bro.Josh, one of the things, too, about these people that be calling in, at least on Absolute Bible Truth, when they call in, the several sisters, or that same sister, had someone in the background coaxing her and telling her what to say.
That's right.
And what to ask you. And see,
and
I would tell people, look, be careful. do not become someone else's merchandise or tool or a wash rag, because you're better than that. You're more important than that according to the Word of God. So we always speak against that. Don't let nobody just use you for the work of doing something that's wrong or what the Lord would consider evil. Have you talking about somebody who's speaking the truth, and then you can't say they're speaking lies, but you're arguing with them and you're talking about them and they ain't got the spirit and all that. So be careful who you let convince you to do things.
Exactly. And I always tell people, love is one of the first things lost when you go from Christian to Hebrew. That's one of the first things that go flying out the window.
That's correct, brother. That's right.
Because a Hebrew Israelite, we have to learn as Israelites. And like I said, I include myself in it. We have to learn as Israelites to stop throwing out the baby with the bathwater when we come into the truth. We come into the truth, and we want to throw away everything we learned as Christians, even the stuff that was correct. Even the stuff that needed to change, we throw away too. No. We still supposed to love each other. We still supposed to care about people and try to do good things for people. What happened to that? So we read right here where it says, this is how we know everybody who are disciples of the Messiah, by the love they show one another. What you were saying, LB, about to add something to that?
No, I didn't say anything. I agree with you wholeheartedly, because you've been there and you know I've been there with throwing out that water. You can't throw away everything, even the things that are true when you come into the knowledge of being an Israelite. You cannot throw away the things that are true, and we've been there. You and I both, we've done that. So we've experienced that, and we're talking to people from experience. You can't do that. You can't let a doctrine turn you away from being what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be individuals who understand what love is, and then you show that love to all people.
That's right. All people, not just your own. You're supposed to get love, so he was like, we're going to show you that that's not the case. Well, let's move on. We're still in the book of John. John chapter 15.
You say 15?
Yes, John chapter 15. And we're going to read verses 11 and 12. Because this is something that the Messiah repeated over and over again. We say we love one another, but we betray one another. We try to use one another to gain popularity and notoriety from somebody else. And then the first opportunity we get, we want to try to stab that brother in the back. I had people do that to me. Try to use me to make a name for themselves and then turn around and try to dog me out. All right, I'm trying to do what helps me. Now you want me gone. People, I don't want to debate nobody but Bro.Josh. You know what I'm saying? People challenging them to debate all over the place, but no. I just want him. This stuff has become personal. I got people who challenge me on Debate Talk for You. Not personal. They just want to debate me. They think I'm a good debater. They think I got something wrong. I want to be the one to show that is wrong what you're teaching. I have no problem with that. If you think if you honestly believe I'm teaching something wrong, you have every right to challenge me to a debate and try to present your case. And then there are other people on Debate Talk to You who really have personal hate for me. And their whole agenda is to try to bring me down and get me out of here so y'all never hear from me again. Or if you do hear from me again, you already turned out as soon as I start talking. That's not love. You follow what I'm saying? I'm on here teaching people love. And I got a lot of people who probably listen on social media right now who hate me for this. But then again, they hated Jesus. And I don't think he was teaching with love. So this is John 15, read verses 11 and 12, then we're going to skip. Go ahead.
These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be in full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you.
He said it again. This is my commandment, not my suggestion, not my advice, not an optional way to operate. This is my commandment. It was a commandment in Torah law, and now I'm showing you a commandment in the New Testament. So it don't matter which book you claim you believe or don't believe. You are commanded to love. So if you see somebody walking around that claim they believe both and they don't have love, that's one of the biggest liars walking the planet. You got a lot of people fake out there. The Bible, and we're going to read about it, it speaks about unfake love.
Because you ask, Brother Josh, if you ask the average person, Brother Josh, do they love Jesus and love Christ and so forth? And they'll tell you, yeah, I love the Lord, I love the Lord. But he tells you also in John, if you love me, keep my commandments.
Exactly. And one of his commandments was what? Love one another.
That's correct.
See, we don't get all analytical with it like that. You got too many people who want to come on here and talk about the 2,300 days in the book of Daniel, which is nothing wrong with that. You follow what I'm saying? But what about the love? I mean, it's really bad too, man, how we go on social media and just belittle and try to tear each other down. If I went on social media and I just saw a bunch of atheists trying to tear down believers, then I would not have a problem with that, because you expect that from the non-believer. They're supposed to do that. That's their job. They're ministers of Satan. They're supposed to do that. But if you come on here and you tell me you are a believer, and every time I turn around, you on somebody's Facebook page or on somebody's YouTube channel, or you making a video trying to tear somebody down, trying to make somebody look bad, and have the nerve to say, oh, I'm a true believer. How are you a true believer? Betraying people, selling people out. Y'all don't know what love is if you're doing stuff like that. Some of us right now sitting up in camp, and y'all know these people are teaching hate. Y'all know this. And you listen to me right now, and you're going to still continue to sit up in that camp. But I know that I'm a true believer. How can you be to sit in a camp that's teaching something directly against the Messiah? You know, nobody want to hear this type of stuff. But the truth be told, this should be uplifting to a lot of y'all. Right? But check this out, Elder. Skip down and read verse 17.
Verse 17. These things I command you, that ye love one another.
That's the third time we've read that he said that. So what that means is if he don't say it 3 times, he must mean it. He must really want us to do that. But we already knew we were supposed to do that long before we even got to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that in Torah law. So my question to you, elders, and everybody listening on Debate Talk to you, is that if these people all who come on here and contend in the name of the Bible claim they got the truth, then how come as soon as you leave Debate Talk to you on social media trying to tear your brother head off?
They don't love, Josh. That's as simple as that, brother. They don't have a clear understanding as to how important it is to the Creator and why he's trying to instill that in us. And he started trying to do that from the outset of man. And a lot of things got in the way of that, but it still doesn't give people a free, will to just, be taught hatred or teach hatred, and they can hate me. You don't do that. So he's like he said right in verse 17. These things he keeps telling us. He's commanding us to do this. He's not begging us. He's not wishing that we do it. He's commanding us to do it, because not only that, Brother Josh, there's a great reward. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, yeah, I thought I got cut off. But there's a great reward from him for us doing this.
And what's crazy is I remember I was listening to a debate or a pre-debate that Sal was having, and this is nothing against Sal because Sal ain't got nothing to do with this. But and this didn't even have nothing to do with this brother. But you had all these people calling in. They just going in on Lex Vortex. The show wasn't even about them. Now I bumped heads with Lex in the past, but I'm still call something wrong against him. All these folks that's going in, calling in, going off on him. He ain't even on the show. He ain't even the topic of debate. We're not supposed to be doing no junk like that. We're supposed to have love for one another. Now, if Lex called in and put somebody else's name out there and that person was listening, then they call in and respond to that. That's different. And they've done it to me, too. So I can understand how that brother, if somebody did that to him, because they've done that to me. I haven't been on the show and folks get on Sal Show. The title ain't got nothing to do with me or anything I even teach or teach against, and my name just gets tossed around. But all of this from people who claim to be believers. See, I'm putting stuff out here like that, and we're going to read them. We're supposed to be doing it, too. I'm going to read it. I'm not just telling y'all that. I'm going to read it to you. We don't supposed to be doing that because that's not love. You follow what I'm saying? If you think that man is teaching something wrong, that's one thing. But you don't use a show that has nothing to do with him to bash him. Now, if there's something about him and he was on the show, he was a guest or whatever, or he's in the hot seat, that's one thing. But how in the world something that ain't got nothing to do with him or something that ain't got nothing to do with me turn into a Lex or a Josh bashing show? You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to do that. You got a problem with that, brother? Hit them up on social media. Hit them up in the inbox. Look, man, you know, you teach me this, blah, 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 blah. I got a problem with that. And if you take it to another level, then you take it to another level too, if you choose to. But that's what we like to do. You know what I'm saying? Sal even got a show called The Hot Seat, where he's actually giving people an opportunity to sit down and to be relentlessly questioned by the audience. So if you just got a problem with a particular contestant, ask Sal to ask that person to be a guest in the hot seat and then just have fun. But it ain't fair for you to call in on the show when a man ain't even a guest and can't even adequately defend himself. Because Sal will let you call in and defend yourself, but you can't adequately do that. Sal can't be like, oh, man, another person talking about lit. Oh, man, another person talking about lit. You know, you can't adequately defend yourself, so it ain't fair for y'all to call in and just do something like that. That ain't love. You follow what I'm saying? We still got to offer love. There's a lot of things that Lex teaches I don't agree with, but I still love the brother. I love every listening audience, member of the listening audience on Debate Talk U. That's why I tell y'all the truth. The Bible says a lying tongue hates of everybody that's afflicted by it. I mean, everybody that's affected by that lie, the person who's telling it hates them.
That's correct.
So the opposite holds true. If you tell people the truth, that means you love everybody. That's why I try to tell people the truth, because I genuinely care about in this for me. So for right now, Brother David, is there anything you want to add?
Well, yeah, I want to continue this, continue revealing how important it is, because we can see from the Messiah and in terms of what he's commanding us to do is to love one another. I want to continue this in Romans. Let's go to Romans 12, and we're going to read a few verses here in Romans to continue this so we can broaden everybody's understanding about this, because hatred is not going to get it done, brothers and sisters. It will get you in a place that you don't want to be. And as Joshua said, I thoroughly agree. Love is not taught enough, because we have been under certain individuals that didn't teach us how to love, taught us how to hate and attack, and everybody else was condemned. That's the doctrine we were teaching. So to learn that was not the correct doctrine and to find the truth was a blessing. And so we stand here tonight and we're showing you what we've discovered. And it's in the Bible for everybody to read. You just have to believe it, and then you have to act on it. So we're going to go to Romans 12, start at verse 9. We're going to read 9 and 10. Then we're going to skip to 17 to the 21. When you get to 12, start reading at verse 9.
All right, Romans 12 and 9. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good.
Now, it says here in verse 9, Brother Josh, it said, abhor that which is evil. This is what you hate.
Right.
Because that's what the word abhor means. Then it say, let love be without dissimulation, which means hypocrisy, or don't be a counterfeiter, or unfeigned, meaning exactly. Don't be unreal or insincere or ingenuine. Don't be ingenuine. Because love has to be genuine. It has to come from a place that most people hide and shut off from everybody else, but it's mandatory. The Lord has told us that it's mandatory to love thy neighbor, and you can't be a counterfeit, or you can't be a hypocrite, in other words, saying you love somebody, but your actions show that you really hate them. This is what this is telling you. Read that verse 10.
Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another.
And this is a beautiful statement here. I love this verse. Be kindly affectionate one to another. It didn't say be always hateful, be always trying to attack a brother or bring a brother down, did it?
Nope, it didn't say that.
It said kindly affectioned one to another. And most people think that, love is a weakness. You see, you love somebody, you weak. The book tell you that, hey, most of Paul's weaknesses made him strong.
That's right.
So you got to look at this thing in the right way. Anyway, skip down to 17 and let's continue this.
Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men.
That's correct. And recompense meaning don't try to pay somebody back for doing something to you. Well, where's your forgiveness? God forgave you.
That's right.
But you want to pay somebody back because of something they said. Now, they didn't put their hands on you. They didn't grab you by the throat and choke you. They didn't do anything to your wife or your children and so forth. They didn't do nothing like that. You're going to hurt somebody or hate somebody because of words? And this is what we hear a lot and see a lot. And it's everywhere, Brother Josh. It's really sad. But he said, recompense no man evil for evil. If you think a man has done you evil, let it go. Because vengeance is not yours. It's not yours at all. It's to provide things honest in the sight of all men. So all eyes are on each of us. People think that people are not watching them, and people are just paying attention to everything they're doing, and they think, well, at least the people with their eyes open, because a lot of people have their eyes closed and have allowed other people to close their eyes. So the people that have their eyes open and are looking like the Lord tell you to look and examine everything that you see, you notice these things that you got somebody pretending. They're not genuine, just like we read. They're not genuine. They're counterfeit.
Right.
They're not sincere, and you can see this by their actions, and they think they have people fooled. At least the people that understand what they're doing, they think they have them fooled, but they don't. But in any case, continue this.
Yes, verse 18.
Yes.
If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
Now, brothers and sisters, this is a good scripture here. This is just a good. It said, if it be possible, because sometimes it's not possible. That's just the truth. Because you may want to be peaceful with everybody or be at peace with everybody, but there's some people that just want to hate you for no reason at all. So can you really be peaceable to that person on your part? Yeah, but on their part, you have to keep your eye on them because they might do you bodily harm. Simply because of some hatred they have you, like I say, not for putting your hands on them, but simply because of something you said and it wasn't a lie. They just don't like you because they don't want you talking like that or so and so forth. So he said, if possible, because it's not always possible, and that's up to them. But on your part, you keep your heart pure, and you don't basically go out here and try to recompense evil for evil. So you try to be, if at all possible, peace with everybody. As much as it lies in you, live peaceably with all men. How absolute is all, Brother Josh?
All. I mean everybody, not
everybody. You don't mean just Hebrew Israelites, does it?
Nope. Everybody.
Everybody. This includes also the stranger, doesn't it? Finish reading that.
And all it is. And it's funny, too, because it said, let love be without dissimulation, like you pointed out, hypocrisy or fake. You can't be fake love, right? And then it goes on to let you see that all of these are characteristics of love. Like you pointed out, one thing about love is that you hate that which is evil and you cleave to that which is good. You follow what I'm saying? It's a lot of people who hate that which is good and cleave to that which is evil. An example of somebody who don't have true love is somebody who, for instance, I just got to throw this out there as an example. There have been many people on Debate Talk to You that hear me debating something, and they agree with me about what I'm teaching, and they disagree with my opponent. But because they have a personal problem with me, they'll call in and attack me when they agree with my point of view. They don't understand that when they're doing that, they are abhorring that which is good and cleaving to that which is evil.
That's absolutely
and we do
correct,
that to each other all the time.
That's right.
We had a guy on here one time, he was an atheist or a borderline atheist, and all he was doing was bashing the Bible, attacking the Bible. And everybody, and the brother he was debating was kind of his best to hold his own against him. You know, he did decent, but the guy was kind of overpowering him a little bit, but he still was holding his own. And everybody that called in, almost everybody that called in, was helping the non-believer get help. Or they'll call in and challenge the believer. Wait a minute. Why are you fighting with the enemy against your brother? Because you don't know what love is. I don't care who's on here debating that I've had a past problem with. If they're going against an atheist, Josh calling in to back you up. You follow what I'm saying? I'm not going to call in and back up an atheist. Now, if the atheist say something about the Bible that's true, then I'll tell the atheist, well, you know, you tell the truth about that. As far as me trying to make an atheist look good against a fellow believer, that ain't love.
No, it's not.
And we've had that happen on Debate Talk for You. We call in attacking other believers when they're going against non-believers. That's crazy. But I just want to put it out there, Elder.
I'm glad you did. Start reading at that verse 19. Let's continue this.
Okay. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, says the Lord.
And that speaks for itself. You don't really have to explain this, but I will add this little piece to it. When it says, you know, avenge not yourselves, and the Lord said, because vengeance is his, it's really telling us to don't be conquered by evil.
That's right.
This is what this is telling us here. Don't, because if you are so knee-deep and entrenched in vengeance, having vengeance towards somebody, wanting to pass off evil for evil, you have been conquered by evil. You have been defeated by evil.
Right.
Taken over completely. This is telling you not to do that. Finish. Start reading at that 20th and continue.
Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head.
I love this scripture, man. I just love it. I love this because it's so true. I've experienced it. I'm quite sure you have in your lifetime as well. And others who are listening, I believe, many of them have as well. This is the truth here, and it really works. So don't have no disdain for a person in your heart or vengeance or hatred in your heart for anybody, because the Bible gives us a roadmap to how to solve problems and how to treat our fellow man, our brothers, and so forth. And you don't have to get yourself dirty in the mindset of evil. You don't have to be conquered by evil. And keep in mind, brothers and sisters, this evil, when it's talking about that, the old world was conquered by evil. Didn't it say every thought of man was to do evil continually?
That's right.
They were conquered by you don't want that, because the Lord had to destroy the old world because of that. You don't want to be infected like that. So keep in mind that this is telling us, this is really some good information here. It's telling you how to handle a situation here. Read that 21, Josh.
Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
You conquer evil with good. You don't be conquered by evil. You conquer evil by or with good. And that is basically doing what is right according to the Word of God, the holy Word of God. Is that not true, my brother?
That is true. And let me just add something to that, too. This is the reason why A.B.T. don't respond to a lot of the foolishness that people try to launch at us on social media. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not trying to be overcome by evil. The first mindset is, oh, he said something about me, so let me go and upload a video and say something about him. You follow what I'm saying? You know, and that's not what we're about. We're not trying to be overcome with evil. Now, there are times where a response video may be entitled. You may have to do it. But all this going back and forth stuff, that's you being overcome by evil.
That's
right.
That's
what the enemy want us to do. He wants us striving among each other like that, constantly bickering.
That's
eternal conflict with one another. That's what the enemy wants.
Yeah, I mean, hatred and keeping up hatred and confusion and whatnot is another means, brothers and sisters, to keep you in the dark. You can't concentrate and listen to and read about the good things that keep you alert, that keep you holy before the Lord and keep you on the right track. And they're doing this stuff to keep you. You just don't know what's going on. You don't really understand that you're being used and converted instead of walking on that narrow straight path. You are just going from left to right. You're like a pair of windshield wipers, and it's you're on all the time. You can't be stable. You can't
back and forth.
Right. You can't let people get you into that frame of mind because that's not the way. You have to be stable-minded. You have to focus on these things that the Lord has given us in this book, and this is why I was happy that Brother Josh decided to do this class, because you hear very few lessons about this. And where we came from, there was very little taught about it. But it's a beautiful thing when you really understand that how important it is to the one who is our Messiah. You will really, really open up your heart and get into this. So let's go now to 1 Corinthians, Josh, chapter 1. And we're going to read something in here to further attach the right thing to this lesson. And it's still talking about love. It's the essential component. You must have it, brothers and sisters, not hatred. It's just as simple as that. You cannot have hatred in your heart and be a servant of God. You just can't.
That's right.
Especially hating your brother, and most of the time, Joshua, it's without a cause. It's for just little things you can overlook. That brother say, hey, man, that brother called you dark. What? He called me black? No, he called you dark. Well, he called me, and then you go to tripping. No. You are, if you're dark, you're dark. He called me light. I'm light. What's the problem? People will want to get a pistol and shoot people. Somebody step on your shoe. It's like step on your white gym shoes, and you want to go and beat them to death over. Come on. People, you got to understand what you're doing. This is contrary to the conduct of a servant of God.
Right.
You got to overlook these things. These are trivial things. These things don't really mean that. You can get another pair of gym shoes or stick the ones you got in the wash machine and wash them. Well, I just bought them. He hadn't been stepping on, but you can't forgive nobody for it. Might have been an accident. He didn't do it deliberately. And even if he did it deliberately, what would be so hard or wrong about you saying, well, you know what, brother, I'm not going to get into no thing with you. You were wrong. Just tell him that he's wrong and keep it moving. What's wrong with that?
Right.
But anyway, we're here right in 1 Corinthians chapter 1. We're going to read from the 1 to the 8. When you get to the 1, Brother Josh, start reading.
Did you say 1 Corinthians chapter 13?
Corinthians. I thought it was chapter 1, 1 through 8.
I think it's 13.
13?
I think
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. You're right. 1 through 8. 13, 1 through 8.
All right. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 1. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
This charity is love. You can have all these attributes. You can speak as many languages as you choose, but if you don't have love, you hear what it says? I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I could remove mountains and have no charity, I am nothing.
Do you hear what this is saying, brothers and sisters? You have some. This is some good stuff here. Though you have the gift, and we know where these gifts come from, and this gift in particular, we know where it came from. You have the gift of prophecy. You understand all, absolutely, all people, all mysteries. If you had this, and all knowledge, and though you have all faith, so that I have removed mountains and have no charity, I am what? Nothing.
Nothing.
That's a hard statement there, to be given all these gifts and all these wonderful things you can do, but yet without love you are nothing. Zilch, zero. And this is in the eyes of our Creator. I don't think a lot of people understand that, Brother Josh.
That's right. And it's funny, too. Let me just point something out. It said in verse 1, because a lot of people don't pay attention to this, Elder. It says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, which is love, and you know love is the mark of a true believer.
That's right.
I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal, meaning I'm just an instrument making noise.
That's right.
No particular song is being played or no particular notes are being played. I'm just clanging some cymbals together. Just banging some instruments. Can you imagine if somebody had some cymbals just clashing together, ting, 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 not even really playing to no beat? That's what we are, sisters and brothers, to people who are listening to us if we don't have love.
And this is not a good thing.
This
is not a good thing to be put in that category, you know, by your maker. You're just somebody just walking around here making noise. You ain't saying nothing that's edifying, nothing that's that will bless people. You're just making noise.
That's right.
That's a bad
and something
thing.
else that you pointed out, too. He said all of this stuff that he pointed out in verse 2, all of that stuff falls under the category of basically knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? You can even have a bunch of faith, but it said if you don't have love, you're nothing. So that's what I see. I don't want to say it like that, but that's what the book says. That's what I see a lot of times when I watch the talk to you. A bunch of nothing from people who don't have love. I'm not saying that what they're saying is nothing, because truth is true, even if it's coming from somebody that don't have love. But I mean the individual is nothing because they don't have that love to back it up. Right. You follow what I'm saying? Because ain't no, let me just put it out there for anybody who may misconstrue what I'm saying. Debate Talk, you ain't never had nothing on it. Every show, you getting something out of it. I'm
That's
talking
right.
about the individual.
That's right.
Not the material. You follow what I'm saying? Let me just clear that up, Sal. I don't want to, Sal, he saying ain't nothing on Debate Talk for you. He on your show. No. Paul was speaking as an individual. Paul said, though I got all knowledge and all faith. He's saying you can have this stuff. You can have the truth. But if you don't have that love that goes with it, he's nothing.
Yeah,
that's what he was saying.
In
so
short,
that's what we got to look at.
Right, and in short, you have erased all of these good things, these good qualities. You've erased them. In other words, they are of none effect on anybody.
Exactly.
You just canceled out a blessing you were given as a teacher with knowledge and understanding and teaching people about faith in Jesus Christ and so forth. But without love, it does not register.
It doesn't.
Okay, brother, you can continue at verse 3.
Verse 3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it's profit.
Hello, you still there, Josh?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, you cut off. I didn't get the last part of it.
Okay, I'll read again. 1 Corinthians 13:3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profits me nothing.
Profits you nothing. And the Lord tells us about the poor. He tells us that the poor will always be among us, and the needy, and you are always supposed to take care of your brother, the poor and the needy. And He's telling you, even when you do this, if you don't have charity, which is love, it profits you nothing. You know nothing? I mean, come on, people realize what this is saying. Well, you were going to say something, brother?
No, I just said you got nothing coming. That's all I said.
That's right. I mean, this is what this is really telling you. Go ahead. Continue reading.
Verse 4. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up.
Do me a favor, Brother Josh. Read that entire 4th verse again, because I think that needs to be repeated.
Okay. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up.
This is a powerful, powerful passage right here. This 4th verse is powerful. And I have seen just the opposite of this since I've been in a member of A.B.T. for over 8 years, and even before that, many years before that. And people don't understand that, charity suffereth long. People got a short fuse, with people, for no reason at all. Because sometimes, Brother Josh, I just listen to people, I might not, say anything, even though I might have an opinion about this or that or disagree. I might not say nothing because I weigh it. Is it worth me speaking on it, or is it going to benefit the listeners as a whole? If not, why should I speak on it? So I consider things like that, as you do as well. And it says, charity suffereth long. You got to be long-suffering sometimes when it's possible to just bear with people, because some people are the way they are. Remember, you were the way you are. You and I were not always brothers that read this word and dealt with this book. We had other things that we did before we came to this word. So we understand that, and we'll take a little, patience and deal with people. So it says, charity suffereth long, and it's kind. I don't see a lot of that, Brother Josh, kindness, from brothers, specifically the Hebrew Israelites that I know. Not all of them, because I don't know all of them, but the ones that I know. I don't see that. It's been missing for many years. It envieth not. Love envieth not. But I see a lot of envy. I see a lot of that amongst the Hebrew Israelites that I know. It said, charity vaunteth not itself. It is not puffed up. You get an ounce of thimbleful of knowledge, and all of a sudden, you're this person who has to be feared now.
Right.
Not loved, or you have to be feared, and people don't want to talk around you. And this, I've seen this, and this is really sad. This is contrary to what we've been reading so far. It is not one of the components, hatred that is, for a true believer. It really isn't.
Right. And let me just add something there too, Elder, because I got to put this out here. I'm not going to drop no names, but everybody knows who the individuals are that I'm referring to. It said, charity vaunteth not itself. That means brags on itself or boast about itself.
That's correct.
We had a brother. Now, it said charity. This is a sign of somebody. Charity means this is somebody who has true Christian love. They won't do this. Because it said love won't vaunt itself. We had a brother who had a debate on DT4U, did a video talking about he the champion, saying all kinds of stuff about me. I just put this brother in a body bag. Another brother who I debated, because I can only speak to my personal experience, on Facebook, the next day, I'm the new champion. You follow what I'm saying? You're vaunting yourself. You're bragging about yourself. You follow what I'm saying? That's not the mark of a true believer.
No, it's not.
Because if you had the mark of a true believer, you would have love. And he told you right here that love don't do stuff like that. You follow what I'm saying?
That's right.
Love don't pump itself up. Sal introduces me as the grand champion, but that's because of a survey he took online from the audience. The audience bestowed that title upon me. I don't be on Facebook and social media on there. I'm the champion of debate talk for you.
Yeah,
you got a lot of brothers who I bumped heads with who've done that.
Yeah, you haven't personally stood up and proclaimed anything.
Exactly. Because that's not what charity would do. But these same brothers who do this type of stuff will swear you up and down that they got the truth, that they are true believers. Then why are you on there bunting yourself up? See, obviously, these people ain't even read till 1 Corinthians in the New Testament, because they would know you're not supposed to do anything like that. But see, this is what these brothers do. I'm the champion. I'm the new, ding, ding, ding. We got a new heavyweight champion of the DT4U. I mean, how much you going to brag about yourself, bro? I'm this. I'm that. And then I guarantee you ask that same brother, are you a true believer? They're going to say yes. Well, where's your love?
That's
what
right.
They got to do with love? Love don't vaunt itself up. It's not puffed up.
That's right.
It's just that simple. But see, we don't want to talk about stuff like this because all we want to do is wow the DT4U audience with our knowledge. Where's the love, though? Where's the mark of the true believer? But I had to just throw that out there because I've seen some brothers do this, and y'all know who did it.
I'm glad you did, brother, because it's the truth. You know, there's nothing wrong with speaking the truth. The truth is good whenever it comes out of anybody's heart and mouth, and people need to understand that and not want to jump people because they're speaking the truth. What's wrong with it? That's my problem with it. What is wrong with somebody telling you the truth?
Mm-hmm.
You ready to fight someone or do a video about someone who has told you the truth? For what? Why? That just baffles me, brother. That's why I just wanted to make that comment. But anyway, continue reading at verse, I think it's verse 6.
5. Verse 5.
I'm sorry, verse 5.
Verse 5. Does not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil.
Yeah, I mean, love, a person who truly has that Christian love, you can say things to them. You're not going to provoke them to do nothing crazy or to sin against their God. They're going to look at you and just turn the other way and wave their hand at you and you know what I'm saying, act like you're not even there because you're being foolish. They're not going to be overtaken by foolishness. In other words, get you to provoke them by giving place to the devil, your devilish actions and devilish words. They're not going to react in that manner when you're doing that. So, continue.
Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth.
Brother Josh, rejoiceth. Love rejoiceth not in sin, brothers and sisters. I had a conversation with a brother, just to get off topic for a quick. I had a conversation with a brother. I don't know his name, and he was talking about getting our people to, change and stuff and change for the better. I was assuming, and I mentioned sin. Well, if you're not telling the people not to sin, what kind of changes are you trying to provoke in our people or in people in general? And we're not talking about no sin. Well, if you're not talking about telling people don't sin, what kind of changes are you trying to bring about? Sin must be at the top of the list as well, not sinning.
Exactly.
And this brother, I was Uncle Tom and a coon and everything but a righteous man when he got through with me. But I didn't, fire back at him, which I could have. But, I wasn't about to go into a combative state and mess some people up by getting into something that vain and that ridiculous, because I was trying to show him, brother, you got to, and love is a part of that as well. That's my point. But in any case, it says here, the verses say, don't be easily provoked. Verse 6, rejoice not in iniquity. Go ahead.
But rejoices in truth.
And
let me add something to this too, Elder, because we was talking about social media and how what can start off between two individuals can escalate to like 50 and 60 people going back and forth.
Right.
But the people are rejoicing in that iniquity. You follow what I'm saying? I mean, they're celebrating that. Nobody's on there saying, hey, I thought you guys were believers, both of you. Why are you guys on here behaving toward each other like this? Instead, we on there rejoicing in that evil. We're promoting it. We're egging it on.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? And, people don't think about and people don't think about that, but rejoicing in the truth. And I always can't understand why whenever I'm on debate talk to you, I always have somebody that call in and they will attack me relentlessly and then tell me I'm telling the truth or they're telling me. So why aren't you rejoicing in the truth? Instead, you want to call in and, attack. See, a lot of these folks don't have love. That's all charity means, Sister Bill. They just translated charity right here, but everywhere else it's translated love. It's the same word in the Greek. But I don't understand how these folks claim they know the New Testament and stuff, but we operating in love. It said charity is kind. Now, Brother David, I got to back up and ask you a question about this one. When you look on YouTube and you see these Hebrew Israelites, the ones that's on the corner, even the ones that's teaching out of their own homes, the racist ones, because you never see the non-racist ones or the ones who are not racist acting like this, but the racist ones. Do you see kindness coming from these people?
Absolutely not, and that's the truth, and that's sad because that's something that will bring people closer as opposed to you're just. I mean, I hear a lot of condemnation. And that's from the Hebrew Israelites that I'm familiar with and that I know here in Chicago. I hear a lot of condemnation about, anybody that don't agree with what their doctrine is. They're going to go to the lake of fire, they're going to burn and so forth and so on, and then Satan got a hold to them and all this, but they never examine themselves, because that's in the scripture too. Examine yourself. They're busy examining everybody else and not paying attention to what they're doing and what they have been taught to do, because a lot of them are reacting from things that they have been taught and not taking the time to search this thing out for themselves, and that's really sad to me. But no, to answer your question again, no, that kindness is not there.
Verse 7. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things.
Love will help you get through these things, brothers and sisters. You'll be able to endure and be able to bear all things, and you believe when you have that true love of Christ, of a servant. You will be right here in the midst of this verse 7. Go to verse 8 and read that, Brother Josh.
Charity never faileth, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease.
Well, hold on a second, Josh. Read that from the top again about charity. It never what?
Fails. Charity never fails. Love never fails.
That's what it's saying. Love never fails, brothers and sisters. It never fails. Go ahead.
But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away.
It shall vanish away without charity. So without love, brothers and sisters, you are not displaying the attributes of a true servant of the Most High. And that's sad. You got to change it. You got to turn that around. You got to fight for your own soul. You can't let people teach you to hate just for the sake of hating. The Bible is specific about what we are to hate and why we are to hate it, but it's not one another.
That's right.
So I will give it back to you now, Brother Josh. If you want to continue on, I'm ready to press forward.
Okay, that's cool. I want to ask Sal at this moment, because, I love, after a brief moment of teaching, to hear from the debate talk of you audience. Is there anybody on the switchboard right now, Sal?
Yeah, we have a couple people standing by with questions and comments. Once again, if you have any questions or comments, you know the number, 646-716-7320. You want to take some questions right now, Brother Josh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so let's go to the people. Let's go to 252-883. You're live in there.
Peace, Brother Josh, and Assalamu alaikum, Brother Josh, and is that Brother David?
Yes, Brother David. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing
hey,
good.
Shalom, Raheem.
Yeah, shalom to Brother Sal. I had to chime in, and this is a good show. I mean, y'all hit on some good points, because the other day, Sunday night, I let Sal know too, I turned on TRS radio, because I said, let me see what they doing, because I was going to wait up and I was studying to do my prayers. I do my prayers like 4:30 a.m. So I go over there, and man, it was chaos. They had a guy named Sarge. He was supposed to be an ex-police or whatever, and all he was saying was, shut the F up. I might as well be shut the F up. I mean, he said it over 60 times, and they was going back and forth. There was no love. And I'm trying to figure out, how do you stipulate a champion out of what they was saying, and it was basically more opinionated than factual. You get what I'm saying? So it was all over the place. And I said, I can't even listen to this. I can't, if I do debate somebody over there, I may want to stay over on Sal's format, because, it's kind of crazy.
Well, hey, Raheem, I can tell you this. Raheem, you are smarter than that. You know what kind of champion he was. You know what kind of champion he was. You just don't want to say it. Because there's
a champion of food.
That's right. You know that.
Yeah.
Now, you're smarter than that, right? You know he was the fools champion. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. So.
And here's the thing too. I just want to point this out too, because I think we read it, or we're going to read it, where it talks about love honoreth. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, it talks about love and honor, which is respect. And see, what many people don't understand is one of the reasons why Debate Talk for You is the superior brand is because Brother Sal is conscious of it or not. He's teaching love, because one of the characteristics of love is respect. And he teaches respect on his show, and he don't allow disrespect to go. You follow what I'm saying? So people think that Debate Talk for You is the superior brand because Sal got the best debaters, or the people on his show display the most accurate knowledge. But that's not entirely true. One of the main reasons, in my opinion, that Debate Talk for You is the superior brand is because Sal, like I said, whether he's conscious of it or not, is teaching love through respect. I just want to throw that out there, as long as you was mentioning how they were acting on that other forum you were on, Raheem.
And can I add to that too, Brother Josh, to say this to Brother Brother Sal, man. Sal, I commend you. You know, I listened when you first began this, brother, and this would not be possible without you and what you've put into it. You've opened up yourself up and poured you into this, and it's turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to Blog Talk Radio, and I think it's actually the best show on Blog Talk Radio, and you have to be commended for putting something together. You had something in mind in terms of some kind of format that you can get brothers to come together and deal with issues and whatnot, and you have successfully, brother, with God's help, you have done that, and I applaud you, and I thank God for you, man. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah. Word. Yeah, man. So, last thing I wanted to say is, like, if I'm Muslim, but if I saw Josh hungry, say, yo, Raheem, could you feed me? I'm going to feed Josh. I'm not going to go,
I do be hungry.
I'm Muslim and you, this and that. Nah, I'm supposed to feed him. My Quran tell me that. You know, and one thing I didn't understand with my last debate, it took every fiber from all the atoms in the universe not to make a video about this. My last debate, I dealt with a brother, and I said shalom alaikum twice to this brother. When I say shalom to you, or salam, which mean the same things, I mean peace. I will not hurt you. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to curse you out. I'm not going to steal from you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He did not do it, not once. That didn't bother me. But what bothered me, and I couldn't figure out why, now I know it was the love, why he went in on another brother who reads the same book as he do. And, matter of fact, he's a member of A.B.T. I mean, he called him a heathen. He said, you are blasphemous, and he went off. I mean, he went off on that brother, and it got me upset. And I'm like, why does it get me upset? Because now I see there was that love there. And all the brother was doing is correcting him. And I know, see, a lot of people think I'm young, but I'm not young. I'm not 28 or 30. I'm 48. So the thing is, you
take... know you that old, bro.
When you huh?
I didn't know you were that old. I didn't know you were that old, bro. I gotta be honest.
That's why I tell. Yeah, a lot of people don't know.
I know you was that old, my. I know you was that old.
But see, I don't look it because I took care of myself. I followed the laws. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the brother that cursed the brother out like that, Sal, no, he was an elder. You don't do that. When you got a person that's younger, you pull him to the side. But the funny thing is, the younger brother was right. But you just don't do that. And then tell me, I like you, Raheem. I really do. At the end of the program, if you go listen to it, he's a heathen. The other guy's a heathen. I mean, okay, you like me, but I'm a heathen? How can you prove that I'm a heathen? There was no love.
Yeah, that's
from
right.
the get-go.
That's right.
And is it those examples? It just wasn't no love. So the opposite of love for me is hate. There's no middle. You get what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
it's like you can't hang on the fence with that. Either you hate or you love. So I just wanted to point that out. But he shouldn't have did that. That you read the same book, y'all claiming the same thing, and you went in on him, and you should explain to him certain things instead of going in on him. And that's all I had to say. Good show, fellas.
Thank you, my brother.
No problem.
Appreciate that, Raheem.
We got some more callers standing by. Once again, I want to thank those people on Facebook. A lot of people are liking the show. A lot of people are sharing it on their personal page. I want to definitely thank the people that's on social media that's sharing this on all over the world. Again, the number is 646-716-7320. We got some more callers standing by. Let's go to the people. Let's hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it clean, no foul language. Keep it clean, keep it professional. Let's go to 240-731. You're live in air.
Shabbat shalom, and hallelujah. This is Brother KC. What's up,
What's up, my
family?
brother KC? How you doing?
Hey,
doing great.
Brother KC.
Hey, I just want to say, man, this class was really, really needed, man. And I only can hope that some of these young brothers, man, that are caught up in that hate doctrine and all of this stuff, man, could listen to this class, man, and come out of that. Because it's proven, man, love. It's all about love, man. And a lot of times the only thing I hear is hate. You don't like this person. Don't they're not Israel. They're not Israel. They hate them. No, they hate the white man. Oh, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it's time for it to stop, man. This whole world right now, man, it's all hate, man. I don't even watch the news anymore because that's but hate. Everywhere you look, it's hate. And this class was just sorely needed, man. I praise you, brother, for just bringing this out, man. And for the people who don't know, this is just not a one-time class that A.B.T has done, man. This is on like a usual basis. Josh, you brothers are always bringing out the weightier matters of the law. And like I always say, Josh, I'm filing this class right in my file with the weightier matters of the law. You follow what I'm saying? So, but you brothers just keep it coming, man. And also, like what Raheem said, I actually went over there and checked out the TRS radio, and I couldn't even deal with it, man. Josh, and I hope you don't even dirty yourself by even thinking about debating these guys. It's ridiculous over there. I mean, it shouldn't even be on the air if you ask me, because it's just cursing. Yes, there you go. Bring that line out. Hey, man, but you brothers keep bringing it, man, and I'm going to continue to listen, man. And I love you, brother, man.
Hey, brother, we love you too, man.
Casey, and I'm out.
I love you too, Casey.
And can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. And shout out to the UK listeners out there. We actually gained a lot of UK listeners, though, from that TRS Carbon Radio debates, though. So shout out to the UK that's listening, and I appreciate you guys overseas checking out Debate Talk Radio. Let's go to the next person. Let's go to 845-665. Live in the air.
Hey, what's going on, all? This is Brother Stanley.
Hey, Brother Stan, how you doing?
Hey, shalom,
I'm
Stanley.
blessed, man. I'm blessed. Can't complain. I was just listening to the entire thing, and I'm just like, whoa. But I couldn't really express myself because I'm in someone's house right now. But I told them I'm going to call in to speak a little bit, but because, I know they have the kids trying to sleep right now and all that. But we're in the process of moving to Florida, so that's why I couldn't be on tonight. But I definitely am listening in and really being blessed by this information. I hope everybody that is out there, I don't care what faith you're following, love transcends in all. And if you understand how to apply love, then you are serving the true God.
That's right.
I just want to, if you don't mind, add a couple of information in to add to the lesson that you guys had tonight. One is in Luke 14:25 and 27. I think you guys probably went through that already, but I'm not sure. And it says here, and they went. You guys went to that one? Luke 14.
I said no, we haven't. Nope.
Yeah, and it says in Luke 14, verses 25 to 27. It says, and there went great multitudes with him, and he turned. He, meaning Jesus, turned and said unto them, if any man come to me, and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot be my disciple. In other words, impossible to be my disciple. But, and whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So you're looking at this version, which is the Luke's version, it says hate.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the relative text in Matthew 10:37, it's interesting. It says here, this is talking about the same time period, but it was looked upon with the same understanding, but worded differently. Listen to this. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Mind you, this is the same thing. But one is saying if you don't hate, and the other one is saying if you don't love more than. You see? So the term hate, a lot of times, can be misunderstood too. Because hate, sometimes in God's perspective, is a lesser degree of love. If you read in the Genesis, when, what's his name? It's Isaiah, Jacob. Jacob had two wives.
Rachel and hated Leah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And in the same text, it had said that one situation he loved Rachel more than Leah. And in another text, the same, right in the same area, it says that God had made Rachel barren because he hated Leah. Now, one said, wait, it didn't say he didn't love her. It just said he loved this one more. But you see, in God's eyes, a lesser degree of love is also entitled hate. Not any kind of hate, but just a lesser degree of love. Now, that love that he is saying that you should have for him is supposed to be supreme above everybody else. You're supposed to love God more than your own life. Now, this is interesting.
That's right.
Because this is also added to the scriptures, if you love me, keep my commandments.
That's correct.
You see?
That's
and what is the commandment? It is to love your neighbor. It all comes back. It's a circle. It's a circle of love. It comes back. For God to say to love your neighbor as yourself, but yet you're supposed to love yourself, obviously, and in that sense you have to love yourself to that. But at the same time, he's saying to love God more than yourself. So then you're supposed to love your God more than your neighbor because you're supposed to have a lesser degree of love for yourself than you have for God. It's all relative. It's all relative, and it all makes sense. And, you guys quoted this. I think you guys quoted this one. It's in 1 John 4, 7, and 8. Beloved, let us love one another. For love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God, and knoweth God. But he that loveth not knoweth not God, for what? God is
love.
Love. Now, this is powerful to me. Somebody may say, oh, typical cliche, God is love. Let me tell you the power in this. John could have said, God is lovely, and he would still be right. But the problem with using the word love that way is because any one of us can take that position. Sometimes Josh could be loving or lovely, or Brother DB can be loving towards someone else or a lovely person. But you see, when the text over here, he wanted God to be this is where God stands alone. He said God is love. You see, I can't say Brother Stanley is love. I can say Stanley is loving, but I can't say Stanley is love. That means he is the essence of love. Without love, there's no God, and without God, there's no love.
That's correct, brother.
It's so fascinating me when I see atheists loving their spouses. How do you know what love is? You can't love without God. You see, when I say I love you, I'm really saying I got you. Come on, somebody.
That's right. You're right, brother.
Exactly what it is.
Or in the beginning, or in the beginning, love created the heaven and the earth.
That's correct. That's right.
Yes. Yes. It was love that is our creator and love our redeemer. So love is part. So God is our God in two ways. He is our God because of love, because he created us, and he's our God and his love because he redeemed us.
That's correct.
And that's why he has possession over us.
That's right.
You know what I mean? God is amazing.
Which means
now, one more point I want to make.
Which means that creation,
go ahead.
let me just add to you,
please.
Which means that creation and redemption, the creation itself was an act of love.
Yep.
You follow what I'm saying?
That's
exactly. That was an act of love.
Amen. Because believe it or not, if you have your only son, that's the last thing you want to give up. You know what I mean? But God, he saw the bigger picture. He sees that he loves you. People say, oh, you see the Father? Oh, man, the Father seemed like he was a mean God in the Old Testament. But Jesus came and he was like, oh, so loving. But for God so loved the world, brothers and sisters, that he gave his only son. He loved you. He loved you and you. That's why he did this. Now, interestingly enough, we just saw that God is love. So if God is love and Jesus is God, then Jesus is love. Amen. And interestingly, in 1 Corinthians 13, where you guys was just breaking down easily, I loved it, by the way, I want to add to what Brother DB was saying. Do you realize, well, Josh already stated, that charity is another word for love. It's a synonym to love. So you can take the word charity right out of there and put the word love there, and it'll just still work. But you know what else will work? Because we just realized that Jesus is love and God is love. Actually, if you replace the word charity and put the name Jesus there, it'll work perfectly.
It certainly
take the word charity out and you put the word God there, and it'll
That's
work
correct,
perfectly.
Sam.
You know what? And Brother DB, guess what?
If you have not Jesus, you're nothing.
That's right.
Amen. And guess what, Brother DB? I guarantee you, and I want all of you guys to try this experiment. Put your name, erase the word charity and put your name there and see if that will make sense. Just won't work. I tried it. Stanley suffereth long and is kind. Now, I can be kind sometimes, but I don't suffer too long. You suffer my soul long enough, I'm going to say something. You know what I mean? It says charity envieth not. I can say Jesus envieth not. God envieth not. But brother,
that's right. That's
I
right,
some envies in me sometimes I need to pray about. You know, charity vaunteth not itself. Man, when I win a game sometimes, brother, like, yo, I'm the man, kid. But you see, Jesus and God don't do stuff like that. Because love doesn't do that.
Nope.
Not the God kind of, not agape love. That would be sloppy agape. Now, interestingly enough, it says here, God is not puffed up. Jesus is not puffed up because love is not puffed up. But Brother Stanley can be.
Right.
None of us can. You see, we have to understand that the epitome of what love is Jesus and God. But we are not. We can be loving. We can be loving, but we can never be loved. And that's what I wanted to just bring out tonight.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. You're absolutely correct.
Praise God.
That ain't nothing but truth. That ain't nothing but truth that you just said, because if you insert it just in random places in 1 Corinthians 13, like for instance in verse 8, Jesus never fails.
Amen.
You follow what I'm saying? You know, or in verse 1, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, if I have not Jesus or God, I am become as sounding brass or as a tinkling cymbal. So, or you can insert it anywhere else. You know, in the beginning, love created the heavens and the earth.
Amen.
Love chastised Israel.
That's
and
right.
Said God loveth those who he chastises.
That's right.
Yes, he does.
You follow what I'm saying? So you can insert it in different areas and it'll still make sense. See, people don't understand that we worship because the Bible says God is love. And
Amen.
what you have known and discovered throughout history is that people are a reflection of what they worship.
Yep.
That's the reason why a lot of the pagan deities were deities using sexual rights and prostitution at temples and stuff, which is why the people operated like that.
And Josh, don't lose your train of thought.
People are a reflection of what they worship.
I just want to say this too. You're really saying, in essence, to all the listeners, don't worship hate.
Exactly, because if you are a hateful person, you worship somebody who is a God of hate. God is not a God of hate. You can't tell me you worship God and the Bible says God is love, but you turn around hating somebody. That would be impossible.
Amen.
Now, if you told me that you worship Baal and you believe in worshiping him through sexual rights and prostitution, which is how people worship Baal, how people worship Ashtaroth, which was his female consort. If you tell me you worship them, and I see you prostitute and do all that stuff, that's what they were. They were fertility gods. That's what they were, and they were sexual. They were gods of sexual intercourse. And see, this is why God said He didn't want us to worship the gods of the other nations, because whatever God you worship will be reflected in your conduct.
Right.
So you can't tell me you worship love, because God is love, and then on the street calling smart, you're supposed to hate somebody.
It makes no sense.
It just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that.
Can I make one more point? Brother DV had stated something earlier in Proverbs. What was that scripture in Proverbs where he talks about it was like putting coals in their head?
Yeah.
What's that scripture again?
That was actually in Romans, but it was quoted in
Romans.
Proverbs.
Yeah, that's Romans. Yeah. Sounds like a proverb. That's something Solomon would say. But
it is a proverb. He was quoting Proverbs when he wrote that in Romans.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Now, interestingly enough, something that Martin Luther King said that always resonates with me. When we have these discords, even in our marriages and stuff like that, in our relationships, and we always think that we look like tit for tat. You do to me, I do to you. And if you do it to me in this level, I'm going to do it to you even harder. You know what I mean? And you see Christ's ministry was completely against it. He says, love your enemies. Love your enemies. Interestingly enough, step number one, people that assume that love is just a mere feeling, they already don't understand what love is.
That's correct.
That's right.
Love has feelings,
action,
but it's not the feeling. It only has the feeling. But like you just said, it's also action. It's what you do. How many people want to feel like loving their enemies? Nobody want to feel like loving somebody they don't like. The idea is you're supposed to go beyond your feelings and do for others. That's how you love your enemy. That's showing it. You know what I'm saying? So, interestingly enough, Martin Luther King said this. He said, darkness cannot take away darkness. Only light can do that.
That's right.
That's so powerful to me, because here we are trying to use hate to get rid of hate, tit for tat, trying to do something. But it is doing loving things, which is light, which is of God, that will take away darkness. So I think, or you ever heard fight fire with fire? If you fight fire with fire, you'll always just have more fire.
Everybody getting burned up. You do that.
Everybody getting burned. Yeah. It's always, you're going to get more fire. The more fire you bring to the table, the more fire you're going to have. But in order for you to get rid of the fire, somebody got to bring some water.
That's right.
Bring the water of the word. Come on. That's sometimes.
That's right. Call the fire department and let them spray your house with fire.
Amen.
That makes sense.
Amen. So I just want
to
add
your house on fire. You call the fire department, they throw a flamethrower at your house.
Burn that house.
We don't think about stuff like that. That's fire. That's fire with fire right now.
All right, God bless you all, man. Please continue doing it. I'm here to support you guys, man. Anytime you guys need, I'm here. I'm still listening on.
God bless, Brother Stan. You too, man.
All right. right. Once again, we have a lot of people listening via phone and via Skype. If you have any questions or comments, you know that number, 646-716-7320, and then press number 1. We can add you into the conversation. However, nobody else is pressing number 1 right now, so Elder David and Brother Josh, go ahead with the lesson, brother.
All right, let's keep this thing moving because, like Brother KC said when he called in, this is something that really needed to be discussed, you know. And I thank Stanley for calling in and adding the things he added because it's all true. You know,
right.
You can't fight fire with fire, and brothers. You try to fight fire with fire in any situation, how's that going to help? When was the last time you seen somebody's house catch on fire and they called the fire department and they showed up with a flamethrower? You follow what I'm saying? What would that do? They call them firefighters. That's what they call them. Firefighters. That means they fight fire. And firefighters fight fire with water. They're trying to put the fire out.
Right.
So anybody who said fight fire with fire, they only trying to burn everything up.
That's
you know
like
what I'm saying? When was the last time you see somebody trapped in a burning building? They said, let me light a match to get out.
Hey, Josh, just like two guys are arguing and you want to break that argument up and you call a guy who that's all he does is argue. You how can he break the argument up? He's going to join in.
Exactly. That don't make any sense. He come in, he arguing on both sides. You know what I'm saying? He going to keep it working. I've seen that before. I've seen two people debating and the third man get in and make it worse. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's why I call, one thing I say about A.B.T. is that we're controversy killers. You know, controversy is a fire. We controversy killers. We don't like controversy keep going on and on. We controversy killers. We ain't going to get in here and try to keep a controversy going. We're going to come in and we're going to kill it. Let's move on to something else. There are bigger fish to fry. You know, but let's go to Luke chapter 10 because we mentioned earlier about the neighbor, right? Mm-hmm. This is Luke chapter 10. And we're going to read verses 25 through 27. This is the parable, what they call the Good Samaritan. This is where that term came from, the Good Samaritan. You hear people use that today. I'm going to be a Good Samaritan. So a lot of people don't know that the parable of the Good Samaritan was an act of true love and who really is your neighbor. And a lot of these racist Hebrew Israelites doesn't know, they don't know that this was a parable that was meant to abolish racism in the mind of all Hebrew Israelites. A lot of Hebrew Israelites don't even catch that because at this time in history, the Samaritans, who were non-Hebrew Israelites, mostly because you had a few Hebrew Israelites, a remnant that was among the Samaritans, but the Samaritans were mostly made up of people who took over the land after the northern kingdom of Israel. The northern kingdom of Israel was moved out by the Assyrians. Mm-hmm. So these are a bunch of non-Hebrew Israelites, mostly with a few remnants of Israel, but mostly non-Hebrew Israelites. That means people of a different race that were keeping the ways of Israel to a degree. And Israel hated them during the time of the New Testament. You don't believe me? Just read John chapter 4 when Jesus spoke to the Samaritan woman at the well. She said the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. You want to get a good idea of what that meant? Think about the racial and segregated laws that separated blacks from whites here in America during the segregated times. Right. That's how Israel was with the Samaritans. You know, they were neighbors, but the two did not interact. So Jesus is using a very popular concept known at that time to get rid of racism. And yet all these ignorant Hebrew Israelites who preach racism, not all of them do it, that's why the ones that do, still the parable went right over their head. You know why? Because they don't have love, which is the mark of a true believer. They don't have love. So this is Luke chapter 10, and we're going to read verses 25 to 37, not stop you periodically to add. But go ahead and read, Brother David.
Okay. Luke 10:25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, What shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said unto him, What is written in the law? How readest thou? And he answered.
Now look what the first thing he asked him. He said, What is written in the law? Mm-hmm. How readest thou? Notice when the man asked about what he got to do to get eternal life, the Messiah takes him straight to the law. Funny how today Christians think the law ain't got nothing to do with getting eternal life. But their Lord and Savior referred somebody who asked him about eternal life, what does it say in the law? What does it say in the Torah? Right? But watch what he says. Go ahead and read.
And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto him, Thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live. But he
now notice when hold on, Elder. Notice when he asked him what he got to do to get eternal life. Jesus asked him what's in the law. The first thing that comes out the man's mouth was love.
Mm-hmm.
Notice he didn't say keep the Sabbath. Notice he didn't say keep the holy days. Notice he didn't say keep the dietary restrictions. He didn't say that. He said, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy strength. I know a lot of y'all will say, well, you show that love of God by keeping his commandments. Yeah, it's true. But the man also said, and love thy neighbor as thyself. So this man knew that getting eternal life or keeping the law was centered around love. Love God, love your fellow man.
And Brother Josh,
love God, love your fellow man.
And this is a law.
Mm-hmm.
This is a law. He's commanded, thou shalt love the Lord thy God and everything else that's attached to it. Thou shalt.
Mm-hmm. That's a requirement.
The requirement.
And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Mm-hmm. But read the next verse, because watch what it says, verse 29. Because Jesus said, if you do this, you will live. That means you're going to get eternal life if you do this. So I'll read verse 29.
But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Jesus, and who is my neighbor?
So
and
now
Jesus,
he's trying to be a little challenging here. He said, okay, who's my neighbor? So he's trying to see what Jesus is going to tell him, because if you ask a Hebrew Israelite, a racist one, when it says, love your neighbor as yourself, you ask a racist one, who's that neighbor referring to? Oh, the Hebrew Israelites, not the other nations. That's going to be the first thing that comes shooting out their mouth. So this guy asked Jesus the same question. For the life of me, Elder, I don't see how these racist Hebrew Israelites are missing this, other than the fact that they don't have love, the mark of a true believer.
That's it.
Now watch what he tells them. Go ahead and read.
Verse 30. And Jesus answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise,
now this guy who came down, hold on one second, Elder. This guy who came down was a Hebrew Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
He's going from, as it said, he's going from Jerusalem to Jericho. And it says, he fell upon thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, took all his clothes, stripped him naked, wounded him, that means bruised him up, beat him down, and departed, leaving him half dead. Which, if you think about it, based on where he was, it was more than likely other Hebrew Israelites that did this to him.
Right.
Right? It says, and by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. So a priest of Israel, he had to be from the tribe of Levi to be a priest. A fellow Hebrew Israelite saw his own Hebrew Israelite brother laying beaten, bruised, and half dead in a ditch. Kept walking.
Yeah, cross the street.
Go ahead and read the next verse. Cross the street. You know what I'm saying?
And likewise, a Levite, when he was at that place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side.
Now, this time it says a Levite. Now, hold on. A lot of y'all might be saying, but the priests are the Levites. All priests, but all Levites were not priests.
That's correct.
Priesthood was something you had to be a part of. You had to be initiated into. Just because you were a Levite didn't mean you automatically was a priest. You follow what I'm saying? You could be from the tribe of Levi and be a regular priest, or you could be from the tribe of Levi through Aaron and be a high priest, right? But the fact of the matter here is, why is Jesus pointing out the fact in this parable that these guys were Levites? because Levites and priests were supposed to be the most knowledgeable of Torah law.
Right.
So he's using Levites and priests in this parable to let you see these were the most knowledgeable of Torah law, and yet they see their own fellow Hebrew Israelites laying half dead in a ditch, and they call for sweet. They keep it moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a parable showing you that racism is wrong. It's not of God. That is not what determines who your neighbor or your brother is. But go ahead and read.
Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went
now
to him.
Now think about this, y'all, because the Samaritans at this time in history, we looked this up in history, they and the Hebrews hated each other. And the Samaritans were a different race of people who had adopted the ways of Israel. All you got to do is read 1 Kings chapter 17. It'll tell you who the Samaritans were. And then turn around and read, I think it's Ezra, chapter 4, or chapter 1. Ezra or Nehemiah, and it tells you again who the Samaritans were. There was a few of the tribes of Israel among them, but the majority of those people were non-Hebrew Israelites. History and the Bible will tell you that. So Jesus is using the Samaritans because these were the most hated people among Israel at this time in history, the same way a lot of these racist black Hebrews hate white people. If they want to imagine the hate that the Hebrews had for the Samaritans, just imagine how you feel about the so-called white man. And you'll understand, right? So imagine this as you as a Hebrew Israelite, a racist one, getting beaten down and left half dead, and two of your own Hebrew Israelite brothers passing by you, don't even care. And then a white man comes and sees you in this condition. And look what he does. Read verse 33 again.
Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him.
Now look at all this stuff that this non-Hebrew Israelite, and not just a non-Hebrew Israelite, but somebody who was hated by the Hebrew Israelite. Look what he did. Look at what this filthy Samaritan did. That's what they thought about the Samaritans. They were filthy. In fact, the disciples wanted Jesus to allow them to call down fire like Elijah did and destroy some Samaritans.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we call down fire like Elijah did? His own disciples. That racism was existing even among Jesus' own disciples. See, we don't think about stuff like this. That's not in according with love, the mark of the true believer. See, people don't know that Jesus came to break a lot of racial barriers too. That's why I'm like, I love the Messiah. No, you do not. You are not a true believer. You do not have love. That's why Jesus is using this parable to show you the mark of a true believer, and he's using the most hated people at that time in history. Like Esau. Man, Esau couldn't compare to the Samaritans at this time in history. What nobody think about no Esau as far as being hated. In fact, at this time in history, Esau as a nation had already been assimilated into Israel.
That's right.
They were cool with Israel at this time in history. Nobody walking around at this time in history thinking about the hate of an Edomite. They had already been assimilated during the Maccabean period. Read about John Hyrcanus and how he forced the Edomites to convert over to Israel through circumcision. At this time in history, Samaritans, the hated ones. And Jesus is showing you in this parable that this Samaritan went and saw him, had compassion on him. And don't forget, the Samaritans hated Israel just as much. Right? He said he went to him and bound up his wounds, poured in oil and wine. He's treating this man, put him on his own beast, which could have been a horse or a camel, and took him to an inn, a hotel, and took care of him while he was in the hotel. Read verse 35.
And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more when I come again, I will repay thee.
Now he took them there the next day, and we departed. He took out 2 pence, which is the form of currency, and gave them to the host, the guy who was running the inn, and said to him, take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, any other expenses that he adds up or accrues, I will pay you back when I come again and see you. So any other money, I'm going to pay for him to be here, and if he needs some like room service or additional blankets or whatever, I'll pay for that too when I come back, because the guy couldn't stay there with him forever. He had to go about his business. But he was like, I'll take care of you when I come back. This is a non-Hebrew Israelite showing mercy on somebody who was an Israelite after his own Israelite brothers walked right past him.
Yes, Brother Josh.
I hate to say it, but that's the truth today.
And he's showing something else too, Brother Josh. He's showing love.
He's showing that love. That's what he's doing. He's showing love. But you try to show that to a racist Hebrew Israelite, someone trying to see this? We supposed to hate the white man. Did you not understand the parable of the Samaritan? I don't see people try to run. The Samaritans were Hebrew Israelites, not as a majority. The Samaritans were non-Hebrew Israelites with a handful of Israelites among them. And if he meant the Israelites among the Samaritans, he could have easily said that. He just said the Samaritans, period. Just like when God was punishing ancient Egypt, it told you at a certain time he severed or separated between Israel and the Egyptians. It let you know, okay, I'm just hitting the Egyptians this time. So don't try to tell me when it says Samaritans, it just means the Israelites among the Samaritans. Give me a break. That would defeat the purpose of the parable. You follow what I'm saying? But
I just want to let you know, Josh, just want to let you know you got another question in queue whenever you're ready. Let me know.
Verse 36.
Okay, let's finish this off, and then we'll take it. Go ahead.
Which now of these three thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves?
So now Jesus is asking the rich man, who do you think out of the three, the Levite, the priest, and the Samaritan, was a neighbor to the man that fell among the thieves? Go ahead.
And he said, he that showed mercy on him. Then Jesus said unto him, go and do thou likewise.
He said, go and do thou likewise. Brother David, you just pointed out that the Samaritan was showing him love.
That's right.
So Jesus said, go and do thou likewise. But the point of the parable was the man asked, who is his neighbor? Jesus showed him that anybody who shows you love and takes care of you is your neighbor, regardless of his race.
That's right.
That's why he used the Samaritan in the parable. He could have easily used a parable with three Hebrew Israelites, and the parable would have still been as powerful, because then the point would have simply have been his neighbor is the one who cares about him. But the fact that he threw a Samaritan in there, he was trying to let you know that it don't matter what the race is. Your neighbor is anyone that shows true godly love towards you. So he told the Hebrew Israelite rich man, go and do thou likewise. In other words, go and show love for any and all people, even Samaritans. So that right there kills all racial doctrine from the racist Hebrew Israelites if they are Messianic Hebrews. How are you going to try to tell me that's what God wants you to do? You are blind. You are not a true believer. You are dumb. You are a fool if you try to use this Bible to tell us that you worship a God of love, but you're teaching hate.
Right.
Well, God said he loved Jacob and hated Esau. Yeah, and I can show you what God said he hated Jacob. In fact, I can show you what God said he hated Jacob at least 5 or 6 times. You can only show me that God hated Esau one time, twice if you count Paul quoting it. And if somebody quotes something, it's not really been said twice. It's just somebody repeating something that was already said one time. So there was not a double inspiration given. So one time you read where it says God hated Esau, and you try to use that to justify your hate toward the white man who you incorrectly identify as Esau. But you read several times where God said he hated Jacob. In fact, we can read that God said he hated Jacob more than anybody. We can read where God said Jacob was the most wicked people on the planet.
That's right.
More wicked than Sodom and Gomorrah. But yet, why don't you go around teaching we supposed to hate our fellow brothers? No, you don't do that. Don't go to one scripture and read, God said he hated Jacob and loved Esau. He hated Jacob and loved Esau by comparison. But on his own, God hated Jacob more than anybody. Because why? Jacob knew the will of God. Jacob knew what time it was. Jacob, Israel, were the only people God ever revealed himself to and his laws. So out of everybody on the planet, Jacob was the only person who knew what time it was. So his punishment was worse. God hated him the most. Let's just be honest here, sisters and brothers. If you had 2 children and you had one child that was intelligent, very smart, and another child that was very slow and didn't understand anything you were trying to tell them, which one are you going to be the hardest on when they mess up? Which one are you going to hate the most when they mess up? You're going to hate the one that knows what time it is and understand what you want them to do, but defiantly go against it. What these people want you to do is believe that God gave nothing to the other nations, but yet he hates them the most. But then at the same time, it says that God winks at the ignorance of men. Who's more ignorant than anybody that never heard of God? But you want us to believe the opposite. He hates the ignorant the most, but yet he loves the people who he told everything to the most, even though they know what time it is and went against it. Don't be stupid, sisters and brothers. God hated Israel more than any other nation on the planet because Israel knew what time it was and went against their God. God hated Esau because of what Esau did to Jacob. Yes, I know what it means. He said, yes, God did hate Esau for what he did, but you can't read me where God hated Esau more times than I can read where God said he hated Jacob. I can show you that several times. So the point of this parable is to love any and all races. That's the whole point of that. You're supposed to consider anybody who shows you true love to be your neighbor or your brother. That's the whole point of that, and that went right over their head. But go ahead, Sal. You can open up the phone.
All right, let's go to 410-708. You're live in air.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Sal Showtime, the baddest debate forum on the planet. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Kazakya from Malakaya Ministries, and got a quick comment and a question. I'll ask my question first to Brother Josh and to Brother David. I want to say first, you guys are doing a great job. My question is, what took you guys so long to do this lesson?
That's more of a metaphysical question.
This is one of the most needed lessons in Israel on the planet. And I'm surprised that the phones are not flooded tonight with this lesson. But the lesson is so powerful. I mean, much needed, heartfelt. I was listening. I wasn't going to say nothing, but I wanted to get in and say that one of the things I wanted to add was, because this is a subject that's real dear to my heart, especially having gone through a lot of persecution. You learn how to love when you go through a lot of persecution. And can you say that love also is obedience?
Of course. Because when the rich man asked Jesus what he got to do to get eternal life, Jesus said, what says the Torah, or what says the law? How you read it. And the Torah is all full of commandments, and commandments are meant to be obeyed.
That's right.
So when he said love the Lord with all your heart and all your soul, you can't love the Lord your heart without you can't love the Lord with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength if you're not obeying him. So obedience is love. That's most definitely a trait of love.
Yes.
Hallelujah. So would you also say that obedience produces or is a reflection of love which actually produces life?
Exactly. Yep. I would also say that it's a reflection of love because, as Brother Stanley pointed out when he called in, I don't know if you heard when he called in, love is an action word. So if it's an action word, it's going to be reflected in your conduct, and it's going to give life. If you say light, like you say L-I-G-H-T, right? Light.
Yes, life.
Mm-hmm.
As in,
Right. It's going to give light. Yes, it's going to make light shine in the darkness.
light and life, as far as to the breath or the life.
Yes, it gives life too, because Jesus also told the rich man, do this and you shall live.
Right.
Live in life. You know, if you got life, that means you're living, right?
That's right.
So that in that reflecting love, it produces the life of the Father through mankind.
You get the life of what?
Through love,
I didn't
it
catch that.
produces
Mm-hmm.
it produces the life of the Father through mankind.
Exactly. Or you could say it gives off life
It gives
of the
life.
Father to mankind. Mm-hmm. That is also correct. I agree with that.
So that love can enable a person to be rebirthed back into life through love.
That again is true. We're going to actually read something that actually almost says that verbatim. That is also true.
Because the Messiah, when he died, he obeyed himself unto death, and through his love and obedience, he came back because death couldn't hold him down.
That's right.
That's all I want to share.
Well, appreciate it, brother. It's the truth.
You ain't spoke number truth, brother. You ain't spoke number truth. We with you all the way on that.
That's right.
My heart is rejoicing just listening to the lesson, so I'm not going to interrupt no more. I just wanted to just call in and just let you brothers know that, and Brother Sal, man, keep up the good work, because this debate forum, man, is so necessary. I've been following, but I've just been kind of working, and most of the time I'm driving when the forum is going on.
Yeah, man, appreciate that, my brother. Appreciate the compliment, man. And, it's definitely all about the people being edified and getting knowledge and, information. Once again, guys, if you have any questions or comments, this is your time. You can just press the number 1, and we can add you into the conversation. The number is 646-716-7320. And by the way, for the new listeners out there, the show is archived. You can always go back and go to www.blogtalkradio.com/debate talk for you and check out the show. It's entitled Love, the Mark of a True Believer. My special guest is Brother Josh and Elder David. We have another caller. Press the number 1. Let's go to it. Let's go to 732-914. You're live on Debate Talk Radio.
Peace, Sal, Josh, Brother DV. This is Jeff calling in from Central Jersey.
Hey, Brother Jeff.
Hey, long Jeff.
Peace. You know it's a good class if I'm up this late, but this is the class what we need, man. I feel really edified. That's why I always tell you, man, you shouldn't even do no more debates, man, because this is a great class. I just want to call in and show support, man, and, I just had to call in and let you know, and that's it, man.
Praise God,
brother.
You know how it is.
Praise God, Brother Jeff. Peace, brother.
All right, so nobody else is pressing number 1, so Brother Josh and Elder David, you can go ahead with the lesson.
All right, let's keep this thing moving. We ain't going to keep them up too late, as Jeff said, but, we're going to make people get the point of this. And like the brother said before, Jeff, who called in, he's wondering why, and I feel the same way, why the switchboard's not lit up. But I know why the switchboards are not lit up when I really think about it. It's because a lot of people, if they were to call in, who have been contenders on Debate Talk for You, they would be too embarrassed to even speak, because they know that they don't demonstrate love, the mark of a true believer. So this class is not done. We're not doing this class to put people on the spot. We're doing this class to show people that this is the way you're supposed to be conducting yourself as a true believer.
Yeah, and also,
that's the reason why we're doing this. Mm-hmm.
And also, Brother Josh, also the message is it's not too late to change.
Right.
You can get this right. You can do this thing. You can do it. We're just pointing out what. Well, it's no time like tonight. It's no time like today, because whenever something comes forth, it's always on time. It's never too late. So it's the message is you can get this right. If you've been tripping on hate, you've been riding a wave of hate, you've been taught this thing, let it go and get into this love, because it's in the Bible and it's a requirement.
Yeah, let me just jump in real quick. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, let's have a quick question in the chat room. It says, what were the scriptures Josh gave that talked about the Samaritans? What were the scriptures that Josh gave that talked about the Samaritans?
That was Luke.
Oh, okay. That was Luke chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. Luke chapter 10, verses 25 through 37.
And also, Seek Truth says, Sal, let Josh and Elder David know that this was a very good class. All right, cool.
Praise God, brother.
Praise God, Seek Truth. Okay, we're going to go, Stanley quoted this earlier, but I want to go back here because I had it in the lesson. Let's go to 1 John chapter 4.
Okay.
See, the fact of the matter is that love is just not being taught among the Hebrew Israelite camp. Not true, unfeigned love. It's just the truth of it. And a lot of people don't understand that the reason why I do what I do, the reason why Elder David does what he does, LeVar, Antoine, Brother Jeff called in, and, he's another one on deck. Also, Kevin, part of the flock, that's another one on deck, as well as a few others. They don't understand that the reason why we do is out of genuine love. We care about the people. There's a lot of brothers who I've linked up with. They weren't A.B.T. brothers who I've linked up with who revealed to me that they weren't doing this for love of the people. They just wanted to butt themselves up. They wanted to puff themselves up, seek some glory, make a name for themselves. Like the brother called me in KC and he mentioned TRS radio. He was saying, Josh, you shouldn't even go on there and debate. That's a good thing. I shouldn't go on there and debate, but I probably do need to go there to show these brothers how they're supposed to operate. Because you can't be an example without being an example. You follow what I'm saying? And that's how you're supposed to do. If I ever did go on that format, the one thing they'd be able to say is, hey, that brother came on that show and he was respectful. He came on there and he conducted himself like a true believer, showing love. You follow what I'm saying? And the reason why these brothers do operate like that on TRS radio is maybe because they were never taught the message of love as mentioned in the Bible. Like I tell people all the time, what I used to do is get mad at a lot of things that people used to do that were wrong according to the scriptures as far as conduct was concerned. I could get real mad. Then I said to myself, well, what am I getting mad about if I never told them what to do? Like the other brother called in and said, what took you so long to do this class? On Debate Talk for You, yeah, it's long overdue. But I've done classes like this and similar to it on my show, which I have every Saturday on Blog Talk Radio at 4 o'clock or 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll get that information out to you later. But I do classes like this all the time. But as far as Debate Talk for You is concerned, yes, this is long overdue. Because people need to understand that love is the mark of a true believer. If you don't have love, you're not truly serving God. You're going to hell.
That's right.
Period.
And
that's what people need to understand. No love, no life.
Right. Like the word said, you have nothing, and you are nothing.
Nothing. You are nothing. And you know what that means? If you are nothing, that means you have nothing in common.
That's right.
That's what that means. So we're going to go to 1 John chapter 4. We're going to go to 1 John chapter 4. It needs to be spoken of. 1 John chapter 4. And we're going to read verses 7 and 8. 1 John chapter 4, verses 7 and 8. All these phonies out here preaching hate. Preaching hate. Out of this Bible. Preaching hate. These guys are phonies. They are false prophets. I'll drop the names of the organizations like GMS, ISUPK. I'll drop the names. I dare them to call in and tell me I'm lying on them. They know what they say. And I dare them to call in and challenge any of this material about what the Bible says about love. Y'all teach hate. That's what y'all do. Y'all are phonies. Y'all are false teachers. Y'all are fakes. Y'all are imposters teaching hate and try to pawn it off as truth. You're not fooling anybody. They'll sit back and they'll listen to me say all this stuff. They won't press one. This is an open free forum. You can say it in the chat room or you can press 1. They ain't going to call in and press 1 and be like, hey, Josh, you're lying because this is what the Bible says about love. And it actually says love only Israel and hate everybody else. They ain't going to call in and say no crap like that because they know that's not in the book. So they'll listen here quietly, grinding their teeth or balling up and clenching their fists. And then they'll go right back out there and keep on teaching that doctrine of the devil like they ain't heard a word I said. And keep deceiving you, the people. So that's what I care about, the people. I don't care about, I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing this for my benefit. I already got this. I already know this. I'm doing it for people who don't know this or who do know this and want to build on it. That's what we in this for. You know what I'm saying? A.B.T. loves the people. You can believe that or not. And we show you that by having the nerve and the courage to stand up and say things that a lot of brothers are afraid to say. Do y'all really think that everybody in those races, Hebrew, Israelite camps, don't know what the Bible really says about love? Y'all really think that? Y'all really think that Elder Tahar ain't ever read about love in the Bible? That man got to be at least in his mid-50s. You think he ain't never read about love? You think General Yohana ain't ever read about love in this book? Y'all honestly think that? Or do you think they know it, but because they're so filled with hate, they don't want to teach you? Like I said, don't drop a name. I got one on the call in or some representative from their organization to call in and tell me I'm wrong. You can call in, curse me out. You can call in and call me fake or whatever, but you can't go in this book and say you're lying because this is what the book says. You can't do that. You guys are teaching hate. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. You need to repent. So this is 1 John chapter 4, and we're going to read verses 7 and 8. Go ahead and read, please.
Verse 7. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God.
Do you remember the brother who called in after Jeff, and he said you will be born again, or you'll be born anew? Remember the brother said that? I said you can read that almost verbatim. He said, will somebody be like that? Now, whether he had knowledge of this scripture or not is irrelevant. He still knew that loving somebody was a form of rebirth.
That's right.
Because it said, beloved, let us love one another. For love is of God. I mean, love is from God.
Mm-hmm.
That's from God, right? Then it says, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God.
That's right.
Being born of God means being born again. It's a spiritual rebirth because technically every human being on this planet is born from God because God created Adam and Eve and everybody came from him. So this is not talking about a natural birth. This is talking about a spiritual birth. We already were all born naturally. This is talking about a spiritual rebirth. That's what love does. Love makes you reborn. All these brothers out here talking, I'm in the truth now. I wasn't in the truth at first. I'm in the truth now. You still talking about hate? You ain't in the truth. You ain't been reborn. You're not in the spirit. You're still in the flesh. You're still carnal.
Yep.
Hate is carnal. That's what that is. You don't have a clue. You are nothing if you have not charity, which is love. You are nothing. Do you know what nothing is? That means if you are nothing, that means nothing you say, nothing you do is going to benefit you or anybody. That's what that means. You're nothing. What does it mean to be nothing? If I say, hey, go over there and pick up that glass for me, Elder David, and there's no glass over there to pick up, what is Elder David going to say? What are you talking about? What glass? He's going to think I'm crazy because I'm trying to get him to pick up something that's not there. It's nothing. It's not there. Well, that's exactly what you look like. You like that guy who I'm telling you to go pick up that glass that's not there. You can't get something from something that's not there. So if somebody has not love, there's nothing. So you can't get something from nothing. That's not really that hard of a concept to follow. But go ahead and read the next verse, please.
He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love.
It says, he that loveth not, or plain English, he that does not love knoweth not God, for God is love. And you might say, I do love. I love my brothers. I love my fellow Hebrew Israelites. It's not the love it's talking about. It's about universal love. It's about love for everybody. Love that is absent of an unjustifiable hate. See, people don't understand that. Nobody want to talk about love because then a lot of faces start blushing red. A lot of people start bowing their heads down in shame. A lot of people want to start hanging up. Oh, I can't listen to this class. You follow what I'm saying? But this is the only way you're going to get salvation. You wasting your time. You be out here teaching all this deep stuff. Oh, yeah, let's show what color Israel really was. Let's prove Jesus was black. Let's prove that Israel is cursed right now. Let's prove Israel is in captivity right now. What about the love of God? We don't want to hear about all that stuff, man. Let's talk about what the so-called wicked white man got coming to him. Not even thinking that you got the same thing coming.
And they're going to be before the white man.
And you're going to get it before the white man if you Israel. What did Paul say in Romans chapter 2? Romans chapter 1. And it was one on Romans 1 or Romans 2. It said anguish and tribulation upon everybody that do evil. The Jew first and also the Greek.
That's right.
The Jew first and also the Greek. Y'all always talking about, oh, the white man got this coming, the white man got that coming. Israel did everything first, even the bad stuff. That's what people don't get. Israel is first in everything, even the bad stuff. And the first thing God got coming when he come back is bad stuff. Because he got to clear away the filth before he can bring the righteous. So if I was a Hebrew Israelite, I would be the most fearful person on the planet, because according to your Bible, that's who God is going to be inspecting first.
And there's also, Brother Josh, there's something here that I want to add to this, because it touches on what some of the callers said tonight. It should be, the switchboard should be lit up, and we know why it's not, because a lot of people are ashamed in terms of this lesson being done. It just puts them to shame because they know they are not walking in the correct spirit. I want to bag up to that 6th verse and read it. I want to touch on one thing that goes along with all of this. It says, verse 6, we are of God. I think that's talking about the ones with the correct spirit, that spirit of love on them. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. And we've had a lot of people that heard us tonight because they are of God as well, because they understood what this message is about, and knowing that it's much needed as well. Then it says, he that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby he say, hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Just like Jesus mentioned in the Gospels, he told them that you don't know the Scriptures. You err in the Scriptures, meaning you don't know me. So that's a lot. That's one of the reasons why we haven't gotten a lot of people to step up, because there's nothing wrong with being wrong. When you recognize you're wrong and you've been taught wrong, hey, humble yourself. And let that go and grab hold of this truth and raise yourself back up and stand up strong in the name of the Lord. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
You're not supposed to wallow in hatred.
But a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people want to operate according to their spirit and not the spirit of God. Right. That's the problem. A lot of people are teaching you the thoughts of their own hearts and emotions and not what this word says. That's the reason why I can stand up and openly speak against places like GMS and ISUPK without any fear of repercussions from them. Because I know they ain't going to come call in, and they can't even make no video attacking it. They ain't even going to try that. The brother said we're supposed to be loving each other. They ain't going to address anything out there. They ain't going to do that. Them brothers know they're lying to you. They know they are. Like I said, these brothers too old. These ain't the little young guys you see that they stick on the street corners who you could probably tell are in their teens or early 20s, who they just put out their babes, really. I'm not talking about them guys. They may not know it. But you look at them old heads like Tahar and the other guy who reads for him, I always forget his name, General Yohana, all the guys with them, they know this stuff. They don't read this stuff before. Some of the guys, some of them know what this stuff says, but they'll sit up there in that filth and not say anything out of fear of being outcast,
right,
or cut off. Because one thing we know about Israel is that we love being a part of something. We love that, and we'll put that over truth any day.
That's right. You're absolutely
correct.
I mean?
That love is the mark of a true believer. And I can't believe that these guys have been able to stand on these street corners this long without being challenged by other Hebrew Israelites on the same aforementioned corner about love. You'll see guys from one of these racist Hebrew Israelite camps on there teaching hatred and all kinds of filth, and another Hebrew Israelite camp will run up on them and start challenging them about how to pronounce God's name. Huh? If you ain't going to say nothing about the hate speech that he's speaking, that's going against the word, you ain't going to say nothing about that?
Yeah.
See, they don't want to talk about that. You know, they don't want to talk about that. Back in the day, when I used to go out on the street corners, which it didn't take me too long to find out that that's pointless. But when I used to go on the street corners, they'd come down to Atlanta. A group of guys called the House of David. They'd be right downtown at 25 Points every Saturday. And I used to be down there in their face almost every Saturday, showing them that they teaching hate. It got to the point where they humbled. They didn't correct themselves. But it got to a point where they pulled me to the side and they'd be like, please, brother, just leave us alone. Just leave us alone. And they hit me with the speech of, which I really couldn't deny that, because it's a sense of what they said, is that we don't really agree, bro. And this, when we was here first, so ain't no sense in us arguing back and forth about this. And on top of that, we should let people see Israel arguing among each other. This was true in what they were saying. So I stopped hassling them. But as far as me rebuking their message, they had nothing to say. They had nothing to say. Their faces were red. They knew I was telling the truth. Which is the reason why the switchboards are not lit up now for the people who we know teach hatred. And we know they're listening. The ones who teach so-called white man is the devil. We know they listening. Why they ain't calling in challenging this? We taking a dump over everything y'all on top of everything y'all say.
Josh, they know as well as we do, you can't challenge the spirit of truth with the spirit of error.
That's right. Can't be done. But let's go to these next two verses, and I'll let you pick it back up, Brother David. Let's get down to verses 20 and 21. Read that, please.
I'm sorry. We still in
1 John chapter 4.
Yeah, we're still in
Yep, 1 John chapter 4. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're skipping to, you said verse 20?
Mm-hmm. And 21.
All right. Verse 20. Verse 20 says, if a man say, I love God, and hated his brother, he is a liar, for he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen?
Do you see what it said? If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, which we have already seen, parable of the Good Samaritan, your brother or your neighbor, if anybody who conducts himself in a loving manner towards you, and anybody who's really worshiping God is going to conduct themselves in a loving manner towards you, regardless of their race. So that's what your brother is. Your brother is not, my fellow Hebrew Israelite. No. People sometimes forget that word brother in the gospel and the epistle, mostly, not all the time, but 99.9% of the time, is referring to spiritual brothers and sisters, not people you're actually related to or who are your same race.
That's right. That's correct, man.
That's why it was called the brotherhood. Anybody who converted over to the way of Christ was considered your brother or your sister. So he said if any man hateth his brother, and it also means his sister too, because the Bible is written from a masculine point of view. So don't hate this to mean, I can't hate my brother, but I can hate the female. Nope, don't mean that either. It's written from a masculine perspective. So what that means is anybody who hates a sibling believer, right? His brother, he is, and I love God, the hate of his brother is a liar. So there it is right now. You see these guys standing on the street corners, you're supposed to hate the white man, you're supposed to hate Africans. They're liars. They are liars. We had them on debate talk to you. We asked them direct questions. Are we supposed to hate the white man? Yes. Then turn around and read in Deuteronomy where it says, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite because he is your brother. That's your brother right now. And it said, if any man, according to the flesh, so if you want to go by the flesh, the Bible said Esau is your brother according to the flesh. And it said, don't hate him. Tells you in Torah law, you're not allowed to hate Esau. Tells you that plainly in Torah law. These guys are the biggest phonies on the planet. You won't sit up here and tell me I'm supposed to hate Esau, who you say is the white man, and there's a law in the Bible that says don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like me trying to stand on the corner convincing Hebrew Israelites, thou shalt not keep the Sabbath. They ain't gonna go for that, brother David. Like, what are you talking about, man? They tell you plainly right there in the law, we're supposed to keep the Sabbath. They ain't gonna go for that. But let me stand on the street corner and say, you shall hate Esau, and ain't nobody jumping up among you if he was like saying nothing. Yeah, that's right, you're supposed to hate him. But it's right there in the Torah law. Same book you read about the Sabbath in, Deuteronomy. When are y'all going to learn that these guys are phony? I think a lot of y'all know they're phonies. I think a lot of y'all really, when it really comes down to it, Brother DB, they don't believe the Bible.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what it really come down to. That's what it really come down to. I'm not even going to try to wonder at it no more. You just don't believe the Bible. You can try to lie to these people on Debate Talk for You all you want, and I've been telling Sal this for the longest. The Debate Talk for You audience's intellect has evolved immensely over the past seasons from season 1. These folks ain't as stupid as they used to be. I can tell. These folks starting to see through a lot of stuff. They ain't as gullible or as naive as they were when they first started tuning in. These folks don't wisen up quite a bit. So you can't come on Debate Talk, you no more claiming that you love the Lord and come on, you hate Esau and just thinking everybody on Debate Talk, you don't think that's okay. You don't have folks calling in, nah, man, we've been listening to brothers like Josh and Zadok, you know what I'm saying? You know, and Brother Stanley, no, man, we're a little more educated than that, man. You got to come with something else. That ain't flying no more. You follow what I'm saying? Because we don't here telling y'all what it is. So these guys are trying to push this on hate doctrine is dying fast on Debate Talk for You. So that's why they go, Sal, and I'm just telling you this for your edification, Sal. That's why they go and they try to create their own little forums. Because they know Debate Talk for You is not anywhere where you can play around. It's what the big boys play. You follow what I'm saying? So you want to go and start your own little forum and get on your own little playground where you can lie freely. But you ain't gonna come play you ain't gonna come swim in the deep end. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna stay in the shallow end and splash around pretending like you can swim. While on Debate Talk for You, you got guys jumping off the 50 feet diving board, hitting flips in the air, synchronized swimming. We doing everything over here. So you want to go over in the shallow pool and pretend like you deep. Get out of here. But let's move on. Read verse 21.
Verse 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
That's a commandment, sisters and brothers. He who loveth God loveth his brother also. That's a commandment. You say you love God, you got to love your brother also. You say you love Jesus, you got to love your brother also. And your brother, as illustrated by Jesus Christ himself, is anybody who show you love. That's why at A.B.T, we don't teach any racial discrimination. We got white people, black people, and whoever else kind of people, Spanish people. They listen to us. Anybody can get salvation. Whosoever is willing, let him come. That's what he said. He didn't say whosoever is willing and is of Israel. That's who got it. Anybody can get salvation. Anybody. It don't matter what race you are. You serious about this word, we'll put you in that water. We'll baptize you. I have done it. Ain't that, oh, man, you white. I don't know, man. You might make the water fall boiling or something. No. You want salvation? You can get it. Because that is the love of God. That is the mark of a true believer. You got something you want to add, Brother Dave? I'm pretty much almost done anyway. What you got?
I'm going to go read a couple more things. Let's go to Matthew 5, and let's read something here. Matthew 5. I think this is something we need to touch on right quick, and it speaks for itself, and it speaks loud and clear. We're going to go to Matthew 5, and we're going to read from 43 to 48. And so when you get there, you can read. You can start reading.
All right, Matthew 5:43-48.
Yeah.
Okay. Matthew 5:43. Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you. Mm-hmm.
Now, I was going to say, this is what you can read in old times. You know what I'm saying? You can read this. He's telling you that that thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But what else is he saying here?
But I say unto you, love your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
These people that's preaching hate jobs do not want this 44th verse read too often, because it is clear as the light that's shining. He said, but I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you. I think that, you can't tell people and preach to people, oh, you got to hate the white man or hate Esau and this, that, and other. This don't say that, does it? And this is our Lord and Savior.
And it's crazy too, Elder. And it's crazy too, Elder, because they'll tell you up and down that Esau or the white man is the enemy, and then they'll read it and say, oh, it just means the enemies among Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, how you going to try to add that in there when it comes to who your enemies are when they talk about loving them? But
that's right.
Try to make it be Israel. If the white man is the enemy, this is talking about him. If he's not the enemy, then who is it talking about?
That's right.
You follow what I'm saying? The enemy means anybody who's against you.
That's right.
That's what that means. You can't put a race limitation on that. Enemies, period. It can be your white enemies, your black enemies, your purple enemies. Don't matter.
Mm-hmm. That's
you
correct.
Have to love your enemies and pray for them. That's what that means.
Anyway, and even people
I had to point that out.
Yeah, I'm glad you did, because it's relevant. He said, which even the people, even them that, he said, pray for them that despitefully use you and persecute you. We have been persecuted throughout times. I mean, generation to generation. But he's telling you what type of attitude and a train of thought you're supposed to have even in those situations. I don't care what you've been through. If you're still here, you pray for people that are despitefully use you and persecute you. And you hear these people standing on the corner, for 400 years we've been this, that, and other, and you hate the white man, you this, that, and the other. And this is contrary to what we're reading here. But I started at 45 and continue reading this.
That you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
And it looks like to me that we're all in the same boat, whether you're good or evil. And with respect to this right here, he's telling you that it rains on the evil and it rains on the good. So I think the position you should take, I mean, you can see clearly that if you got love, it's better to be a servant and one who believes in love, because I would much rather be on that side as opposed to being a hater and having it rain on me. And this is as simple as that. This is the way I'm looking at this. But it speaks volumes, when it says this. It's the Father. He say, but it says something else here at the beginning of this 45, Josh. He said that you may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. He didn't say that you were. Because you got to have something. You got to have that love.
That's right.
If you ain't got that love, he's not your father.
You're a bastard. That's what it says in another scripture, too. You're a bastard.
That's right. So I wanted to point that out. So if you want to continue at 46, you can.
All right. So if you love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same?
And this is a great point. I don't even want to get into it. If you want to say something about this, you can. I just want to leave this one alone, because it speaks volumes to me.
Well, it's basically saying that if you just love people who love you, you're no better than the publicans. That's the tax collectors. I mean, because Israel looked down on tax collectors too, just like they couldn't stand the Samaritans. They couldn't stand tax collectors because they were taking their money and giving it to the Roman government, right? So he's telling them that if you only love the ones who love you, you're no better than the people you hate. You're no better than them, the people you look down upon.
Because that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
What he's saying. You can continue.
Verse 47.
Yeah.
All right, 47. And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
Same thing. It's saying the same exact thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
And people need to pay attention to this because this is real, to me, important, you know. And it's talking about complete in character. It's talking about growth in morality, mentally, in your mind. And you can't be anywhere near this type of perfect right here if you don't have love, because it says if you don't have love, you are nothing and you have nothing.
That's right.
I just wanted to point that out. If you have something to add to this, you can, because this is you can go. This 48th verse is pretty much what we. You can go in James 1 and read that in verse 4.
Exactly. It said, "Be ye perfect." In other words, we can't be perfect or complete, like you said, without loving our enemies.
That's right.
And as we can see, that's not being really taught among Israel too tough. You know, even the non-racist Hebrews ain't really talking about this too tough. We shouldn't even have to do this because, in a way, we don't really represent Israel to that degree. That's why I said we are Hebrew Israelites, but not for the reason they say we are or the reason they say they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, I always believe that people should be corrected by their own. You know what I'm saying? So it should be Israelites, really, who should be blasting these other races, Hebrew Israelites, constantly on this. They should be doing this. But we represent Debate Talk for You, so we're going to come on here and let it be known on Debate Talk for You. So if any of these fools ever find the nerve to try to surfing their head up on Debate Talk for You with this nonsense, we're going to be there to bite their head off. And so will you with this information we're giving you.
And we can come out there. I got one more place I want to go, Josh, and then I won't call it. Let's go to Luke 6 and read something right quick.
Okay.
Because I think we have really exposed and covered a lot of ground. This is, and I do agree with the caller. This was much needed for all of us. You know, we need to understand what is expected of us, and we need to really continue to walk in this thing because this word is good. It's really good, and you don't need to lean too far away from it this way or that way. You just need to stay right in the center of it and just keep walking straight. And this is what this lesson is about. You know, it's about love. It's not about hatred. It's not about acting like you love somebody, and then when they turn their back, you trying to hit them over the head with something or stuff. No. It's not about being a hypocrite, you know, a perpetrator or someone acting like they love somebody, but then showing you in reality that they don't. They hate you. So those are the works of a liar, and we know who the first liar was in this book. So, in any case, I want to touch on something. We're going to read Luke 6:43 to the 48, but let's back up and read something, touch on something that I think you want to touch on here. Verse 29, let's read verse 29 first, because most people look at this and they get the wrong idea with what this is saying in that verse 29. Let's just read that.
And to him that smiteth thee on the one cheek, offer also the other, and him that taketh away thy cloak, but did not to take thy coat also.
And this, most people look at this, brothers and sisters, this is not telling you or suggesting to you in any way that you allow somebody or let somebody beat the heck out of you. It's not saying that. In other words, they hit you in the face on one side, turn your other side, let them hit you there, and then give them a bat, let them bust you over the head. No, it's not saying that. This is not, all this is really telling you is that don't return evil for evil. Let things go. I just want to make that comment. If you want to add something to that, Brother Josh, you can.
Yeah, because I've seen some crazy movie about Jesus a while back, and they had this Hebrew Israelite. It was a zealot, you know, and he slapped Jesus in the face, and Jesus immediately jerked his head back up and said, "Strike me on the other cheek also." And I was like, that is not what that meant. What that meant is this is Jesus' way of letting you know, don't be so quick to retaliate. In other words, like he said, long-suffering. Be long-suffering.
Right.
That's just another way of saying be long-suffering. You know what I'm saying? Because our first inclination, if somebody smacks you on the face, is that you want to smack them back.
Right.
You know, he was using it as a parable. He is in no way teaching what they call peaceful resistance, meaning you just walk and let somebody beat on you. You know what I'm saying? I can show you another scripture where he told the disciples to buy swords.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? You know, because the time coming where you're going to need them. In fact, he said, buy 2 of them. You know, so let's keep it in context. But I'm glad you dealt with that because people mix that all up.
Yeah, it's like saying that, you know, you get some enjoyment out of being a martyr, strapping 3 or 4 hand grenades to yourself and blowing yourself up in the name of who?
Right, no.
Come on, you know, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I thought you would want to read that 29 and really speak on that a little bit to let people know that is not what that means.
Right.
And so let's skip down to 43 and finish this thing.
It says, for a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither does a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
You know, bad fruit or a bad person, you know, it doesn't come. Good fruit is good fruit. Bad fruit is bad fruit. But it's going to tell you what it's talking about. It's using trees symbolically, but it's talking about people. Continue reading this.
44. For every tree is known by his own fruit.
Every fruit after its kind.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes.
Yeah,
a good man out of the.
Excuse me, brother. You can't get no grapes from no bramble bush. That's like a shrub. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no vine where grapes grow. So it's almost like it's saying there's nothing. You can't get no grapes from that. Go ahead.
It says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh.
Go ahead.
And why call you me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?
And this is one of the greatest questions in this Bible. Why do you call the Lord, 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 and you don't do the things which he say? You could ask a lot of people that question, and they'll give you all types of answers, all the answers in the world except for the right one. But read that 47th verse, Brother Josh.
Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man which built a house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon their house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock.
Upon a rock.
But
and
he that heareth...
Go ahead.
But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built a house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great.
And I'm going to let you sum this up, brother, because I think it's only fair and only perfect that for you to bring a lesson so needed like this forth. If this is to be the last scripture, I'm going to let you wind this up and comment on what you just read here, and I'm going to sit back and enjoy. So if you have anything to add to this.
I'm going to add one more to it then, because you just made me think about something. Right?
Okay.
If you read, like you mentioned in verse 43, for a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit. If you got that love, the mark of a true believer, you're not going to bring forth that corrupt fruit. And it said, out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaketh. So his mouth is going to reveal what's in his heart. So if you're teaching hate is going to be in your heart, and that's going to be what's coming out your mouth.
That's right, brother.
You follow what I'm saying? So that's corrupt fruit. These people are trying to tell you they're teaching the truth, which means they are a good tree. But they're not a good tree if they're bringing forth that corruption. that hate. See, this thing has been going on too long. Like the brother said, and we can't stress this enough, this class is way overdue. But at the same time, I can't believe that we are the first people to do it. You follow what I'm saying? I can't believe that. But you got people that's been on Debate Talk for You that come from a so-called Sunday Christian background. And they ain't said nothing about this. You follow what I'm saying? So, to them, I just simply say, it's time for you to step up and do what you do. But there is one thing I want to point out, because I don't know if we got anybody else on the switchboard. But just in case we do, I want to put this one right here in. If we don't, I'll add a couple of more. Let's go to Galatians chapter 5.
Okay.
Let me show you something about this right here. That is going to show you that love is the mark of a true believer. And I'm going to show you that what we're about to read proves that a lot of people you've been listening to on Debate Talk for You, not everybody, a lot of people, without having to even drop any names, are not true believers. I'm going to show this to you from this one place we're about to go, Galatians 5. And we're going to look up some in the Strong's, too. We're going to go to Galatians 5, and we're going to read verses 22 to 23.
Okay.
Galatians 5. Let me get there with you. And verses 22 to 23.
Okay. Are you there?
And then we're gonna skip. Go ahead and read 22 and 23. Go ahead and read.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Against such there is no law. There is no law for people that have these attributes. But notice it says the fruit of the Spirit. People don't know that the word fruit here means the product or the result or the proof.
Right.
Speaking in tongues is not the proof of the Spirit, sisters and brothers. In fact, the fruit of the Spirit means the result, the proof. Is love. No, the first thing it made was love. How many times have you seen people come, I got the Spirit. I know I got the Holy Ghost. I've heard them say it. But what I love that. That's the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit is love. Then it says meekness, temperance. That means self-control.
Self-control, that's right.
Long-suffering. That's patience, joy, peace, gentleness, goodness, faith. Against such there is no law. But that's not even my point of going here, Brother DB. Skip down and read verses 25 and 26. Go ahead and read.
Verse 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be
desirous. If we live in the Spirit, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. We just seen it in verse 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love. Right? That's one of the attributes. So what you can say is, if we live in love, let us also walk in love, because love is the attribute of the Spirit, right?
That's right.
So let's see what else it says. If you walk in love, this is not what you're going to be doing. Verse 26.
Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another.
Look what it says. Let us not be desirous of vain glory. There's two things I want to point out here. Let us not be desirous of vain glory. If you walk in the Spirit, which is love, if you walk in love, you will not be desirous of vain glory. That means doing stuff just to make a name for yourself, just to get glory for yourself. Oh, y'all know y'all don't think this on Debate Talk for You. Y'all don't see this on Facebook. Y'all don't see this on YouTube. People doing this for vain glory, trying to make a name for themselves. I don't see folks try to use me to make a name for themselves. I don't see folks try to use Sal to make a name for themselves. I don't see them do it. They turn around and try to sell me and try to sell Sal in the back. I don't see it happen, but that's not still my main point. It said provoking one another. Now understand that Paul is talking to believers. So when he's talking to believers about not provoking one another, he means not provoking other believers. But in what way? I'm going to look this up for y'all. We're going to look up the word translated provoke. I got this too, Brother BB. in the Strong's Concordance, in the Greek section. 4292 in the Greek section. It's the word translated provoking in Galatians 5:26. And look what it says. The Greek word is propallahi.
Mm-hmm.
Now look what it means now. To call forth to oneself. Challenge. Wait a minute. To call forth to oneself, in other words, challenge. That is by implication, irritate, provoke. Notice what this is saying. It says, let us not be desirous of vainglory, challenging one another.
Right.
Wait a minute. This is the attribute of the Spirit, which is the attribute of love. It says, let us not be desirous of one another, challenging one another. How many times have you turned on the YouTube channel, went on Facebook, I challenged you, Brother Josh. One believer to another. I'm not saying it's wrong to challenge me in general, but if you're doing it for vain glory, that's why he put that in there. People think that this is something that started with debate talk to you. We had believers back then challenging each other, trying to make names for themselves back then. Otherwise, Paul wouldn't have to tell people to stop doing it. Ain't nothing new under the sun, sisters and brothers. They had debate talk for you back then. They probably had a foul back then, too. You know, they definitely had some line games back then, I tell you that. They definitely had some line games. But they were doing that back then. So that is one of the attributes of somebody who is not a true believer. Somebody who every time you turn around, they're trying to challenge another believer. Because Paul talked to believers. He said we should be challenging one another. Why do you think so many people have said it? They have said it. Death have said it. People don't talk the debate off of you. Guys, you really should stop debating. You should just be teaching. Because a lot of people who challenge me are doing it for one purpose, desirous of vain glory. That's what it's about. But notice, this is one of the marks of an unbeliever, somebody who's not walking in the Spirit. That's why Paul said, let us not be desirous of vain glory, challenging one another. You got brothers out here, they want to challenge other brothers. Oh, I'm on your side, man, I support your ministry. But every time you call the brother, you trying to challenge what he got on his YouTube channel. You trying to challenge what he teaches. They want to get mad when the man go off on you. You provoking him. What about the part that says, let's not provoke each other?
Right.
Oh, man, brother, you hurt my feelings. You cursed me out, but you provoke him too. The book says you're supposed to be provoking that man either. You got a lot of people that like to poke people and then get mad when the brother go off and say, see, you don't got no temper. You ain't got no self-control. You wrong. But the book also says you're supposed to be provoking, always challenging. Always trying to debate your brother. Oh, brother, I got your back. I believe what you teach. I believe this. And every time you turn around, let me call you up and ask you about this, elder. You said this. Then brother get mad, go off. You want to call him a brother who ain't in the Spirit. But that same brother don't understand that the book says you wrong too if you provoke that brother.
And
if we supposed to be
believers,
how come every time I turn around, you provoking me?
And I want to add one thing
me.
too, Brother Josh. You were saying that all the things that this stuff causes, you're challenging brothers and so forth you're seeking that vain glory and whatnot. It causes something I've been watching for a lot of years. Been in this gospel, and I just want to put it out there as one word, and it is the one of the biggest destroyers of our people. It is division. It causes division, and to the extent that it sometimes cannot be, people can't be brought back together because people are so vicious trying to obtain this glory, this vain glory, that they do all these crazy things to people. You know, it's not that people can't forgive them, but the trust is gone.
Exactly.
And it's hard for somebody to stand next to you when they can't trust you, you know, and it's just not a good. But this is what it causes. I just want to add that this is what it causes also, division in a big way, and that's sad.
And you know, there's another definition of this word, this Greek word translated provoking, is irritate.
Right, exactly.
You know, a brother who just always want to irritate. You know something that way, Elder, about a brother who always seems like he's challenging you to the point where it's just irritating you and you just get mad.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? See, people don't understand that, you know, when somebody's always challenging you on what you teach, like every time you turn around, there's a challenge on what you teach. It's provoking. That's what it means when you say challenging one another, and it tells you in the context of vainglory. Then you also put in there envying one another, because all of this falls under the context of being jealous. Because when a lot of people are jealous of what you're doing, they want to be in your spot. They want the glory that they think you're getting, and they want to challenge you constantly. So I have shown you debate talk for you. That if you see somebody who every time they're on Facebook, they trying to challenge somebody, they always going back and forth with somebody on Facebook, they always doing videos trying to challenge somebody, that person does not have love, the mark of a true believer. And like another brother they called in and said, hey, it's either love or hate. Ain't no middle.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if they doing this, not only do they not have love, they hate. So this is what we've shown you on debate talk for you, that love is the mark of a true believer. Now, Sal, if you got some people on the switchboard, I'd be glad to hear from them, which you probably don't, but let's see.
Yeah, there's nobody on the switchboard right now, but we have a question from DX White. It says, can you ask the question again about where the places are in the Bible to know who the Samaritans were?
Oh, yeah, that's 1 Kings. Matter of fact, let's read that. We got a little time, Brother BB. Let's go to 1 Kings 17.
Okay, let's go to 1 Kings.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I gave all that information. That's probably 2 Kings 17. I said 1 Kings earlier. That's 2 Kings 17. I said 1 Kings earlier. Forgive me, y'all. It's actually 2 Kings 17. And we're gonna read. We're gonna start reading at verse 22.
Okay, verse 22.
And I'll tell you when to stop. Go ahead and read.
Okay, verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. And
so Israel was carried out of their own land. He's talking about the northern tribes of Israel, also known as Samaria, or also known as the kingdom of Ephraim. He's talking about the northern tribes. The southern tribes were removed about 200 years later by the Babylonians, right? And there was more than one Babylonian captivity. It was like, I think, 3 in all. But the final one got them all up out of there, right? Now read verse 24.
Verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof.
So look what it says. He said, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava. These are all Hamite places, most of them. And from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the city thereof. So Israel is gone, the northern tribes. You can read in other places that a few of them was left, but the majority of them were taken into captivity and replaced with entirely different people, and these are your Samaritans who are in the land when you get to the New Testament. But keep reading. Further prove that. Go ahead.
And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they
the beginning of who's dwelling there? These non-Hebrew Israelites that God, when you say God, because he's in control of all this, that the king of Assyria placed in the land instead of the northern tribes.
Right.
This is Samaria at this time. You got people that go in the scriptures and they try to say, well, Ephraim is the northern tribe. Yes, Ephraim is the northern tribe. But after they got deported and replaced with these people, they were never called Ephraim anymore. They were called the Samaritans. Because there would be a lot that called them Ephraim, because Ephraim was long gone.
Right.
And Ephraim is referring to the northern tribe, or the 10 tribes that were separated from the other 2 or 3 that made up the kingdom of Judah. But keep reading.
Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he had sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land.
So you know this is talking about non-Hebrew Israelites, because it said they don't even know how to worship the God of Israel in this land.
Right.
And they know that God sent lions among them because of that. So these are your Samaritan sisters and brothers when you get to the New Testament. It's people made up of all these nations, the people from Babylon, from Cuthah, from Ava, from Hamath, from Sepharvaim. And you can further prove that if you go to Ezra chapter 4 and read verses 2 to 10, or 1 to 10. It'll further prove that. Why am I bringing this out? I got to do a whole lesson on this too. Because you got a lot of Hebrew Israelites walking around today saying the Samaritans are Hebrew Israelites. But it's not true. The Samaritans are these people with a handful of Hebrew Israelites among them. And Israel was scattered all over the planet anyway. To say that the Samaritans are Hebrew Israelites would be like saying America is a Hebrew Israelite nation. When we know that the Hebrew Israelites that are scattered over here made up the minority of the people. You follow what I'm saying? Israel, whatever the remnant of Israel who was left in this land, were the minority at this time. You can't tell me they were the majority. That don't make sense. That goes against prophecy. They're saying that God didn't remove them out the land, which he said he would do if they sinned. And he didn't do that. So to answer your question, this is the place, as well as Ezra chapter 4, verses 1 through 10, to prove to you that the Samaritans were not a nation of Hebrew Israelites. They were a nation of foreigners with a small remnant left from the captivity of Israel among them.
Right.
Are there any more questions, Sal?
And verse 24, Josh, in the 2 Kings makes that very clear who they were.
That's right. So, Sal, you got anybody else?
No other questions standing by. You can say some last words to the people, and after that we can pretty much wrap it up.
All right. I see once again that the switchboard is silent. Funny how we come out and do a class about love, and nobody ain't got really much to say. You know what I'm saying? But I expected as much. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure there's not a high attendance as compared to what we usually get. But that's expected, because Israel don't want to talk about love. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 4, Elder.
Okay.
I'll give them a few more before we close out. Can't get enough love. 1 Timothy chapter 4, read verse 11 and 12.
Let me get there with you. 1 Timothy.
And this is Paul talking to Timothy. He's telling Timothy, this is what you teach. There's too many places in the Bible for these people not to know this or pretend like they don't. It's all over the book.
Oh, let me get this. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get that. Okay, here we go.
Right.
Chapter 4, you say, what verse?
11 and 12.
11 and 12, okay. 1 Timothy 4, 11 and 12. These things command and teach. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity.
Now look what Paul instructed Timothy. These things command, this is a commandment of the gospel, and teach. Don't just command it, teach this. Let no man despise thy youth. In other words, don't let nobody hate you for being young. People try to do that. You young. You don't need to be teaching. You young. Let no man despise your youth. Be thou an example of the believers. What example is that? In word, the things you say, in conversation. Does not mean conversation as what comes out your mouth. It means conduct. Conversation in Old English meant conduct. So in word, in conduct, in charity, there's love, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Notice that love was in there. He said command and teach. You're supposed to be an example in love. Love is in there. Let's go to one more then. We'll have some closing words. 1 Peter chapter 4.
Okay.
It ain't no escaping this, elder. It ain't no escaping this.
No, this certainly isn't, my brother. There's no escaping this at all. I was very moved by what it said about, in Timothy, it said about don't let nobody hate you because of your youth. Remember, we used to get that, you can't teach until you're 30 years old.
Right. They're trying to despise your youth. That's what they try to do.
Yep.
2 Peter, I'm going to say 2 Peter chapter 1. And let's read verses 5 to 9.
2 Peter
Go ahead and read
1, 5 to 9. Verse 5. And besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. And
to brotherly kindness charity. There's love. Notice you're building. You're adding to your faith virtue. Virtue being strength and purity. And to virtue, knowledge. There goes your knowledge. And to your knowledge, temperance, self-control. And to temperance, patience. And to patience, godliness. And to godliness, brotherly kindness. And to brotherly kindness, love. See, love is in there. That's the mark of a true believer. Verse 8, please.
For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall never be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ.
If these things be in you and abound, that means abundant, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. See, you don't know Jesus Christ if you don't have charity. You don't know love. That's what he's trying to tell you. So even when you get all this knowledge, see, a lot of us get that knowledge. We add to that knowledge virtue. We add to that knowledge temperance. We add to that knowledge patience. But we don't have no brotherly kindness and we ain't got no charity. It's like we get to a certain point and stop. Okay, man, get that love. Get that love, man. So as you can see, the Debate Talk for You, we have showed you that love is the mark of a true believer, and we thank you for tuning in.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $Sal Showtime. Thanks for your support.
Hey, faithful listeners and thinkers. My name is Reese Roberts, and I'm the host of a new podcast called Entertain the Thought, now available on SoundCloud and www.reeseroberts.com. The website and podcast are focused on teaching consciousness and human evolution in current social conditions. As a free member on reeseroberts.com, you'll have access to curated content like videos and free book downloads. You can also schedule personal consulting services for teenagers, singles, and married couples. I also offer an enrichment training program that teaches students the fundamental arts of research and debate to increase their knowledge of self. The T-Team is now open for enrollment. For more information, please visit www.serveincorporated.com/register. Again, that's www.servincorporated.com/register. Thank you very much for tuning in to Debate Talk for You Radio.